And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week, another edition of the Code for Giants Cup number 7, your bi-weekly dose of Brazilian StarCraft. And we're here, we're back. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look back yourselves. I apologize for the late start to the event, but it did take some time to allow the players to get ready to arrive, and we are here in our first round of the bracket. And this morning in the bottom right hand corner of Oceanborn, we have the Brazilian Terran player, the red Terran representing Eximius Gaming. It is CranKy. And spawning in the top left hand corner, asking his opponent to be gentle, papi. It is the blue Zerg player representing Death Zone Gaming. It is El Nino, papi. Let's go. We are going to be settling in, and again, hope everyone has been doing well. Hope everyone has been enjoying themselves over the past couple of days of pure StarCraft. And today is going to be a big one. We have three events today. We have, of course, this event's Code for Giants Cup leading into later on tonight, Kung Fu Cup leading into OSC King of the Hill. 3 events back to back to back. Aye. I'm ready for it. I'm here for it. It's gonna be a long day. No, he's nervous, Papi. He's nervous. For those that are curious, Nino, CranKy is a GM. Of course, he's one of the higher ranked players in the event. He's one of the favorites to make a deep run. Meanwhile, El Nino, he is a bit of a lower tier player here, but of course, still a part of the scene, still part of the community, still gonna be fighting his heart out, and we'll see if we can put a bit of a blemish on the record here of CranKy early on. As hello, Mr. Drone. What's going on? As this is going to be a 2x Reaper opener, and alas, the drone will end up walking into that Reaper. We have a full wall off as well. Yeah, alas, the drone will not be able to make it in here as Reapers are on the way. Bit of a more aggressive start here by CranKy and Nino. And Nino, he's in a bit of a rough position here. We have the drone parked outside. We can maybe go for the proxy hatch. What can we really do, though, because the Reapers are across the map and we are containing the Zerg. Are going to be containing here. Quickly just setting up the title. Beautiful, love to see it. But we do dip into the main base. Lings likewise are in position, and we do almost get the Reaper. Not too bad, but the Reaper will. Oh no! Oh my god. The Reaper will barely escape. Trading well so far, catching 4 Lings. We have more Lings on the way. Ling speed as well. No drones whatsoever here at the natural base, and Nino, he is in trouble. Does almost get the surround. Oh my god, almost gets the surround. But alas, the Reapers do manage to slip away. We have a 3rd CC on the way behind this. Again, very economic, very greedy follow-up out of CranKy going for that 3rd CC as he is going to be working on his transition. 1 Reaper goes down. A pickoff that should not have really happened here. So, nice pickoff here by Nino, and we're going for it all in. At this point, we're going for the all in. We have a Spine Crawler back at home just to be safe. Ling speed is on the horizon. Once it kicks in, we're going to be flooding nothing but Lings across the map as Nino has not made a single drone in quite some time. It's gonna be all or nothing. Are gonna be building up. So now we have our Spine Crawler gonna be repositioning. Meanwhile, back at home, we're working towards our Stim follow-up. It's gonna be a bio follow-up here, even with a 2-on-1. So 3cc 2-on-1 follow-up from our Brazilian Terran. Stim is already on the way. I'm a little bit surprised. We're going for an add-on stuff here as well, just some heli, just some map control, and Nino, we have the Lings. They do get across the map, but alas, we have a full wall off. We have Reapers on the other side of the wall as well. We are ready for this. We will shut this down, clean this up, and yeah, the Lings, they won't get much damage done. Alas, across the map, Nino is droning. He is droning as we speak. But these workers are too little too late. No 3rd base either. CranKy has done an insane amount of damage early on. I mean, look, it wasn't just our Terran player doing damage, but it was also our Zerg player responding in a certain way which allowed that he was all in, basically. Like, now that Nino's droning, it's a little bit too little too late. He was very all in, very committed. These drones are so late here for our Zerg player, and as a result, we're playing catch-up. We are stuck playing catch-up. CranKy starting to go to 3rd CC, finishing up. I didn't see that. What happened here, man? What happened here? Sorry, I was paying attention elsewhere, but it's fine. It's fine. Is this when I look in? We haven't lost anything. It's okay. We probably were attacking our own building for a while. That was fine. It was fine. But now behind this though, we have our lair on the way, Roach Warren. So it looks like 2-base Roach on the horizon here for Nino, and that would be a way to bounce back into this, right? To bring it all the way back, to bring it home. Meanwhile, Kamikaze poking in, Spinecrawler's done. Lings, they move in at the same time, but Last of Wolof is still solid. Lings won't find much damage here. Kamikaze turning back around, looking to hunt down at those Lings, looking to chase them back. And I'm curious what we do with this lair. We do have 3 gases currently, so it looks like it's just going to be for Roach speed. Technically, we could try to tech up a little bit further, but we'll see. We shall see if we embrace any further tech. Like something crazy like a Spire or an Infestation Pit. Could go full Eric, true. Hope is there. Roaches are amassing. I feel like killing Ravager all-in is on the cards for Nino as well. I mean, I keep referring to these all-ins. Trying to macro out of this is going to be a tough ask for our Zerg player. It is going for the Hydra Den. Okay, we're teching up even further now that we have the lair. It is not going to be purely Roach. It is going to be Roach Hydra. Bold move here by Nino, and this means that Kamikaze has a lot of freedom. We have a lot of freedom to just take our 3rd base, to drone up, or to make as many workers as we can. We have our mules on the way. And really, we're just waiting for our eventual move outs. It looks like we have had a bit of a... Yeah, our medevacs are now going to be on the way to go Viking first, working towards 2-2. And we should be pushing with 2-2, or at least with some kind of timing here. It looks like we're moving out first. I mean, you know, there's nothing really holding us back, so may as well. Kamikaze does move out. And back at home, Nino has some Roaches, but these are 0-0 Roaches. They're slow as well. They're not the most ideal units here to work with. And Kamikaze has a lot of value here, a lot of efficiency available with his army. There we go, he does step in. It does step forward. We catch out the Roaches. Roaches is going to be going down one after the other. The Lings, they cannot engage, not with these Hellbats. They're going to try and dive in, but they melt, Papi. Oh my god, the Lings there, they don't stand a chance. Not against this army. And the Kamikaze is going to be snowballing out of control. We have a handful of Roaches trickling in. We're going to be evacuating the 3rd base. But alas, there's again not much going to be left over, as the base is going to be broken. Tank arrives as well, and we can just keep pushing. If we had some Ravagers, then maybe we could micro against this and have a chance. I mean, the Hellbats are being thrown away. True. Are going to be thrown away. And we do see Nino just mustering up a bit of a desperation army here with more Roaches, more Lings. And Kamikaze still just going to be containing his opponent, but alas, we can just commit from here. We pick off the Queen. Still rallying across the map. 2-2 is a bit of a ways off, but it's on the horizon. He's on the horizon here. Nino, do we have bailing speed? Oh, we do not have bailing speed, unfortunately. Going to be working with slow banes for the time being. And here comes the rally. Here come the reinforcements. Marines, Marauders, moving out across the map. Unfortunately, the tech is exposed as well, so with the death of the Roach Warren, that's going to be no more Roaches. And yeah, Kamikaze can push in from here. Bailings will trade as best they can. They do get on top of some of these Marines. But the spread is going to be good enough. We get a surround here on the Roach Ravager. And there's just no support. There's no support here for the army. Again, it was a brutal start to begin with. But if you remember, Nino did ask, you know, for his opponent to be gentle. Kamikaze was pretty gentle. True. As he does step forward, we'll break the base and will, with that, take the first game here. Again, a GG gets called, and Kamikaze will take game number 1. GG. GG, well played. Kamikaze does take a lead here in this series, but of course, it's a best of 3. We have opportunities to bounce back. We can bounce back, I want to believe. Meanwhile, the rest of the bracket is currently underway. Again, something that was occurring before and why we had to delay the start for a little bit was walkovers. Walkovers were taking part. We were missing some of our players, but it looks like for the most part they've mostly arrived. Do appreciate it. And we can go over the bracket. We can go over the brackets once we wrap up with our series. Take a moment. We'll take a moment. Oh, is that the same Nino in the chat? It is. Oh, El Nino, papi, El Nino. Let's go. Fala galera, papi. Fala galera. Fala galera. See Matrix. Hello, Ponyo. Welcome, welcome. Good morning, good morning. I did wake up like half an hour ago. To wake up, quickly showered, and we're here. We're here. It's bright and early in the morning. We're live at around 8:30. Yeah. Let's go. We're settling into game number 2 and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Golden Aura. We have our Brazilian Terran player. One of the favorites to make a deep run in the tournaments. Representing Eximius Gaming, it is CranKy. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the Brazilian Zerg player, the Blue Zerg, representing Death Zone Academy. This is part of the Academy team. Oh my god, what's going on? It is Nino. Here we go. Shout out to Nino though, as he did show up in the chat earlier. Did show up. Beautiful, beautiful. But we did see a 2-Rax opener out of CranKy earlier. This time looks like a standard Rax expand. We're just calming things down a little bit and easing our way into game number 2. Meanwhile, this is an interesting opener out of Nino, going for the extractor trick into a pool first. It's going to be pull into gas into a delayed hatchery, so an aggressive build here by our Blue Zerg player. And we'll see what this leads into. This could be for a Link Bane Bust, could be just for a Link Flood, it could be for Roaches. We have options. Regardless, our Zerg player, we're about to be aggressive. Here we go, we're about to ramp up the aggression here. Expansion now being taken, but quite delayed. If you remember in the last game, Nino tried to go for a proxy across the map, but was denied it because of the 2X Reaper. So we'll see what kind of spiciness we have in store for us this time. Spawning pool is now done. And the drone is being sent across the map. Okay, man. Okay. You have my attention. Interesting. Drone's being sent out. There's a chance that this might just be a drone scout, which I hope it isn't. Drone scouts are very much so not really seen in current meta. We are staying in gas, so link speed is all the way. We're staying in gas. This could be for a Balin as follow-up, could be for Roaches. There's potential for aggression here for Nino. As, yeah, the drone is caught out. Yeah, at this point, even a drone scout is a little bit too delayed, so CranKy will get a nice worker kill already. Behind this, getting into our factory follow-up. Not going to be a 2-1-1. And my eyes are on Nino here. Again, usually we don't mind this much gas without good reason, especially with the opener that Nino went for. With the early pool and early gas and delayed hatchery, like this all has to be for a purpose. I would hope. I would hope that. With purpose. Whether this is for a fast lair. See, even here, a second gas being taken. This is a lot of gas. There's a lot of gas already here for Nino, and we'll see. We'll see what it's going to be for. Third base now being taken. I'm leaning towards a lair. We would have already seen a Roach Warren or a Balin Nest by now if it was either one. So now we are going to be joining up. With a Saturator Natural. Reaper does move out. Ooh, as we do catch a tumor. Yeah, not a bad pickoff here from CranKy, getting a drone, getting a tumor as well. Link, with these links, gonna be able to shut down the Reaper. So they can punish it with that link speed. And can they get it? Up, up, up. Ooh, they can. Just barely. Reaper's gonna be shut down, and the longer this goes on, the more concerned I am. It looks like, okay, even though we had no more aggressive start, there we go. Roach Warren is now on the way. We do have an abundance of gas, and we could have afforded this a little bit earlier, but Nino may just be trying to settle down and be safe. It's very possible. Looking back on the opener, looking back on the build, especially after what happened in Game 1, it's possible that Nino was just trying to hard counter 2Rax Reaper especially because like Turok Reaper got so much damage done early on in game 1. So it's possible that Nino was just a little bit too a little bit terrified, a little bit scared of the build, and tried to open up a little bit more defensively or aggressively to counteract that. As a result, did put himself a little bit behind, and the opener itself has been a little bit less than ideal, but we're settling it. Meanwhile, back across the map, we do have Kamikaze embracing Mech. We go from Bio in game 1 to Mech in game 2. Blue Flame is on the way, and Nino, he's going to be in some trouble here. I mean, we are making Roaches, true. Roaches are amassing, which is going to be good against these Hellions. That's going to be a lot of Hellions. Yeah, we're embracing Battle Mech. We have Blue Flame and Hurricane engines on the way. Of course, Mass Hellion into eventually Mass Cyclone is on the horizon here. Oh boy, it's going to be a lot of mech-based units. Nino does not have his third base saturated. I would assume this is for a 2-base all-in, but I'll be honest, I don't know if I'm comfortable making those calls anymore. Yeah, now we're joining. Now we're joining up. So again, Nino once again playing very safe. Does make a wave of Roaches. And here comes Kamikaze. Here we go, Kamikaze moving out across the map with a mass amount of Hellions. Is going to run into a wall of Roaches, but honestly, the damage has already been done. The fact that Nino has barely any saturation here at the third base is concerning. We do defend, we do hold against the first wave of Hellions, but alas, Nino doesn't even commit. Also, I should say, Kamikaze doesn't even commit. He pulls back. We have tanks on the horizon. Interesting that we did invest into Hurricane engines despite not making any Cyclones yet, as we're going here for more tech labs. Just going Hellion tank for the time being. Third base is being taken. Kamikaze does move out. Does move out, rotating around. Because of all these Hellions, we can see that Nino, he's making more Roaches. He's a little bit terrified of what's to come. And likewise, that is hurting him in a longer game, as he is yet to saturate on 3 bases. Meanwhile, Kamikaze taking full advantage of the Zerg player, just making more and more SCVs. Kamikaze has a Worker Lead plus Mules, which is terrifying. Has a massive economic advantage. And is just building up his tank counts. Like, I should say, he doesn't just have an economic advantage, he's just teching up. We're teching up, throwing down more factories, more production, and Kamikaze is left alone. Back at home, Nino is now joining up, and this is one of those kind of big tells. I say big tells. At times, one of the big disparities between like higher and lower leagues is knowing when and where to drone and when and where not to, right? Like when to commit to an army, commit to an all-in, when to focus on your economy. That is something that is hurting Nino more than anything right now, as it's not like Kamikaze's killed anything, but he's like miles ahead despite that. He killed 1 drone earlier. It feels like Nino, he's getting into his own head a little bit. And here we go, we're waddling in. The tanks, they have arrived. The Roaches, oh, they're gonna melt here against this tank line. We do come in from behind. Nice around. Picking up a tank, getting a second, getting a third tank as well. Very nice positioning here. And can we get the final tank? It looks like we barely can. Again, honestly, that flank was the game deciding, or the, I should say, the deciding factor here that could actually hold here for Nino. Oh my god, it cleans up most of the tanks, shuts down the Hellbats. Nino will hold. This was not an efficient trade, is what I will say. That was a 40 Roaches for 5 tanks. Oh my god, that was a lot of Roaches. 40 Roaches going down, but Nino holds. Nino does barely hold on. He holds his own. Back at home, Kamikaze setting up, getting another base, getting a 4th on location, and is sieging up. Again, Kamikaze was a little bit trigger happy. He did not have enough to actually support his army and defend his flank, defend the right-hand side. So Kamikaze was caught out. From here, I'd love to see even a double expansion out of Nino. Now we're taking the 4th base. Still no 5th, but we are slowly building up. The hope here, I would say, for Nino is for Kamikaze to overextend if the Terran player overextends once again, if we move in without enough support, then we're going to be in trouble. The problem is that this time it isn't tank Hellion, it's tank Cyclone. And Cyclones, they can trade better against Roaches. We saw that the Hellbats that were tickling the Roaches earlier, they were really just buffering for the tanks. Here are the Cyclones, they can buffer for tanks and also trade well. This army is more efficient for Kamikaze. He may be down in supply, but the soup does lie. It's straight up, especially in this kind of scenario, where the Terran player has a much more efficient army. Roaches, they dive in, but the tanks, they siege up. One massive tank volley is going to be going up. We do surround the tanks, and we're going to be able to shut down 3 of them at least. Yeah, more reinforcements on the way. We can chase down some of these Cyclones, while the rest have a ride. We can kite the hell out of these Roaches. And then in the aftermath of that fight, Kamikaze takes the supply lead. We're getting ready for that next wave. Upgrades about to kick in. We have 1-1 on the way. Do have those 1-1 upgrades. And Kamikaze's pulling back for the time being, but again, he's just taking another base, taking a 5th. Still has the superior economy, so Kamikaze can afford these trades, and Nino still stuck on Ling Roach. Did throw down a Hydrogen. Did throw down Infestation Bit. No Hive yet. We do have plenty of lava to work with, thankfully, with those macro hatches, but we're still building up. Going Widowmine, that's a bit of an oddity. Going Cyclone Widowmine tank, interesting. There you go, Ling's gonna try and collapse of the army. Mine shots, ooh, forcing friendly fire. Let's go. We do force a friendly fire. We trade as best we can, but we still clean up the Roaches. And Kamikaze has broken through. He's broken through the defensive line, getting on top of the hatchery. Roaches are trickling in. And Kamikaze, it looks like we are going to be able to break through this. Alas, there's just not enough supply, not enough Roaches to hold on. Once again, trying to force some friendly fire. I appreciate the mine drags. We've seen it twice already. I do appreciate it. But alas, still not enough. Hatchery is going to go down. Oh, the mine shots. Oh my god. Mine shots popping off. Drones falling. Kamikaze is waddling through. He's waddling in, but slowly making his way in, so he's slowly sieging his tanks. And Nino just up against the wall, just lost his 3rd base. Now he's up at his 4th. And Kamikaze just rallying across the map, slowly sieging forward. Once again, we try to get on top of the tanks, but alas, it's not going to be enough. We do take down 2 tanks, but that was our army. That was all of our Roaches. And we are finally getting into the mineral line as well. And with that, Kamikaze snowballing out of control. We have 9 more Roaches in production, but we have as many, if not more, Cyclones. We have 16 Cyclones out, but the base is going to go down. Nino will evacuate his workers. We'll save most of them. Still bleeding out 12 drones. And from here, we can just push in towards the natural. Trying to build up an army to work with. We got a fusion core on the way. Oh my god. Getting ready for BCs. Or maybe just Liberator range. We're also making 3 libs at a time. Oh, we found the drones! No! The workers have been found. We cleaned them up. Now we can focus on our push, as Nino is contained to our 2 bases. And again, had his own moments in this game, had some nice fights, some nice engagements is maybe what I will say. But the problem, the underlying kind of problem here for Nino was the macro behind it, unfortunately. And with that, the final wave of Roaches are being cleaned up. We can finally push in towards the natural. And Roach Horn's under fire, which means no more Roaches can be produced. Liberation has arrived. We have freedom. GG. Well played gets called, and Kamikaze will take the series 2-0. GG. GG, well played. Kamikaze will take the series. Again, he was the favored player coming into this. For those that are curious, Kamikaze is GM and Nino is Diamond. But a shout out to Nino because, again, even though he is Diamond, for a more amateur player to compete and play in these tournaments, we always do champion it. We always do love it. We always do appreciate it. I did the same thing back in the day, back in like 2016. I would play in like Olima leagues week after week. I'd get trounced on by Innovation, by Keen, by Ryung. But it'd be a lot of good fun competing amongst some of the best players out there. So much love here to Nino for partaking, for participating, but alas is going to be knocked out. And now we can have a look at the brackets. Let's catch up. Let's catch up on what has been going on. Exclamation mark B in the chat. You guys want to have a look at the back yourselves. From the top. Okay. From the top, we have Master. For those that are curious as to if you're maybe unfamiliar with the Brazilian scene, welcome. Fala galera, fala galera. Master is the best Protoss player in all of Brazil. Master is one of the favorites to win the entire tournament and make a deep run. He's currently up against Project X in the third round. Just underneath him, we do have Don Milon, papi. We have Dominoco, even. I believe that's the Brazilian phrase. Basically, sleepyhead, or someone who sleeps a lot, is down there in the third round, waiting for the winner of by Hammerfall and El Diablo. Scrolling down, we have Inexorable in the lower half of the bracket. Inexorable, he is another big favorite to win the entire tournament. He is, I would say the best Terran player in the bracket, actually. So I'd go that far. Is going to make a deep run here. We'll see how far he can go. Scrolling down, we have Thick Beams, we have Sephiroth, an ex-caster. Big shout out to Sephiroth. He's an old school caster from years gone by, so great to see him here once again. Going up against Taragiba in the first round. Scrolling down, we have Kamikaze, just took down Nino. We have Kid SE2, just took down Rad Stormy. And in the next round, we're going to be covering Kamikaze versus Kid SC2, as they are going to be facing off. And again, I would say that the current top 3 players here in the tournament are going to be, I mean, it's looking like it's going to be Inexorable versus Kamikaze in the lower semifinals in the TVT. I don't know who I favor going up against Master in the upper half of the bracket. Master is going to make a deep run, and best of luck to all the other players up there in the upper half of the bracket. Definitely best of luck in their upcoming matches and upcoming series, as Master is no easy opponent. This week, unfortunately, there is no Eric. Eric is not here. Eric was otherwise preoccupied, so a little bit of a feels bad man there, but Eric is not going to be in this event. Oh, but that is going to open up the floor to other competitors. As Eric, he was last week's champion. He was last week's champion, and because of, I mean, he's been the champion for the past 2 weeks, if I recall correctly. So Eric has been farming this event for a couple of weeks, but now we're going to be able to open the floor to another player instead. Here we go, we're settling into our next series, and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Oceanborn, we have our Brazilian Terran player, the red Terran representing Eximius Gaming. It is Kamikaze. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the other Brazilian Terran player, also representing Eximius Gaming, as they are teammates. It is Kid B. Now, I'm very unfamiliar with Kid B. Your Nino, he has been in the chat before. He's been a lovely viewer in the chat in the past. Kid B, I haven't seen before. I haven't seen him compete, haven't seen him play, so I'm ready to be introduced. I would say that Kamikaze is still the favorite player, at least making it, or heading towards the semifinals. It's all about, can anyone slip Kamikaze up? Can anyone bring him down? My eyes are now on Kid B. Let's go. Let's go. We like Mac. Shout to Nino. He's in the Twitch chat. He's in the Twitch chat. Nino. Less than 3. GG. Well played. Well played. But for now, we're settling in. It's going to be a double gas opener out of Kid B. Likewise, it's going to be a double gas opener out of Kamikaze. So far, mirrored builds between our players. So far, so good. But we'll see where this leads us. Again, with double gas, we should be going to a faster factory, into a delayed command center. And from there, we can go into Reactor Reaper Hellion. We can go into additional or prioritized Cyclone production. We can head into an early tank, an early 1-1-1. We'll see where our players head. And where we go. We shall see. So for now, we are settling in. Reaper's moving out. It is very risky to move out with your first Reaper in TVT, just because you don't know if your opponent opened up Reactor Reaper basically. So it can be quite risky here. Kamikaze does move out. And who shoots first? Okay, we do see Kid B pulling back. And Kamikaze's checking the front door. Is gonna poke and prod, but not find a way in. Kamikaze gets the hell out of there. Which, again, wise move. We back the hell off. Reaper races back home. We do have a CC on location for Kamikaze. So racks into factory, into the CC. Meanwhile, this is the beginning of a one-base all-in. Kamikaze's going Reactor Reaper into Cyclone. Meanwhile, Kid B going for a straight-up 1-1-1. No CC in sight. And that's why he walled off. That's why he walled off. That's why he's here on the ramp. Okay, we're cooking, man. We're cooking. Let's go. I mentioned it before that Kamikaze is the favorite player. That's true. So how do you stop a favorite player? How do you shut him down? Cheese him out, Bobby. Cheese him out. Okay. For the time being, we do have our Cyclone. Wait, what? Going for a fusion core, rushing to BC in a TVT? This is unheard of. This I don't know what to expect. Okay. Very delayed expansion. This expansion very delayed. Reapers, they dive in, they get eyes on the CC, but you can see Kamikaze, he's diving in for a scout. He's trying to figure out what the hell's going on. And it looks like he will not confirm. The Reapers, they get shut down. Looking at the vision, we got behind the middle line. We saw the CC, how late it was. That is a tell. That is a tell that something is wrong, and Kamikaze should scan. He should be scanning right now because he doesn't see what we see. He doesn't see that BCs are on the horizon, or even the factory. The Rax is floating. He doesn't know. The Rax is floating over. We're going tank BC. Wait, live first. Live first into BC, I imagine. There's no shot we're going into Liberator range, right? No shot. Reaper's moving out. We don't have the gas. We don't have the gas for a BC right now, so I have to go live first. Reapers are denied. Back at home, we're getting into a 1-1-1. We have our initial Viking Cyclone. We're moving up with the first tank. We have the Rax acting as an overlord to give some high ground vision. Let's go. The hell's going? We are within range of the bunker. True. We are going to be able to shell away. This is a really wild build out of Kid. This is crazy. Go, hold position, the Rax. Oh no! Oh my god. Cyclone has to be very careful not to chase that Viking. Do you have that depot, sorry, that bunker under fire? Liberator behind this. Back at home, getting into BC production. Natural base getting up and running. Alright, Kamikaze, he's going to break out. It does break out, does collapse on the tank, and will shut it down. And the tank does fall. Alas, we had an army to work with to break out. It was just the one tank. The Liberator slipping in behind towards the main base, and we have to buy time. We have to force back this army. If we can get away with the BCs. The first BC is not even done. Liberator does siege. Kamikaze doesn't retreat. Ooh, Kamikaze is pushing in, and what do we have at home to defend? We have one straight tank, and it's on its own. There's no support. No support for the tank. The one tank holding the line here for Kid. BC, it's almost done. But here comes Kamikaze going straight up for the natural. Big tank volley going up. Tank shots going up, but we have the disable. We shut down the tank. And in Kamikaze, it looks like, have we done it? Have we broken our opponents? It looks like we have. BC's coming in. Do we have enough anti-air? We have a good amount of Marines. We scan for the first time. Now we realize what's going on. BC does reveal itself. And can the BC clean this up? Ooh, it does teleport across the map. Does teleport out. Not much anti-air. Only the one Raven. BC getting a lot done, and Kamikaze's racing back home. Oh, we did zero mining. Zero mining here. The boys are being pulled away. We mule to repair. Let's go. Yo, Kid B's such a Chad. Oh my god. And he will be cleaned up eventually, right? We have auto charts being thrown down. We have the Cyclone rocking up. There is no teleports, and the BC should fall with a couple more hits. Yeah, the BC doesn't go down, but that was StarCraft. That was Kamikaze going back to mining. You can see for a while there the economy swinging in favor of Kid B, just for a moment or two. And here comes our Mule Hammer. We're calming things down. Kamikaze will settle into his lead as he's on a 2-base economy. Meanwhile, Kid B is on 1. Does have 2 bases, but look at the worker count here. Look at the economy. It's almost non-existent for Kid B. Very chaotic game here, but I appreciate the what we've seen. He has to rebuild his racks because he just lost it, and he has to have a racks to make factories. So yeah, our production is going to be hindered quite a bit. Armory's on the way for upgrades. Kid B banking up a lot of resources, trying to catch up. Did miss a couple of SCV cycles. And we're moving on with our second battle cruiser. The problem here is that we have plenty of anti-air. We have how many Vikings? We have 4 Vikings, a Cyclone, 13 Marines, 2 Ravens with auto turrets, or even disables as well. You can disable a BC. Can do so. So this build had potential as an all-in, and this build does not have potential in a longer game. That's the problem here. In a longer macro game, there's not much that we can really do from the side of Kid B, but I appreciate it. It's peak StarCraft. But he's making a Thor. Why not? We have our 3 tanks set up. Ravens, they can of course disable the tanks, and we can break this position. And speaking of, tanks are being disabled. We break with the refocus down at the 2 low-ground tanks. With the help of the Thor, we will be cleaning this up. At the same time, BC is going to be shut down. Forced to teleport. Ooh, gets the final tank. Not a bad cleanup. Not a bad cleanup here, as again Kamikaze can just calm things down, get into a 4cc, moving out with his entire army, this time with the Vikings. So we're going to have enough anti-air to bring down the tank, and even land Vikings as well. As Kamikaze is going to be sending everything he has this time across the map. There's that 4cc on location. Are rotating in. Kid B, not even fully saturated on 2 bases, long distance mining. Again, I appreciate it. Ambitious, Bobby, ambitious. Yeah, we get the disable of the Thor. Gonna be able to focus it down. Vikings gonna be landing as well. And we will clean up what little is left here for Kid B. The repairs are on point. We barely keep the Thor alive. Only for so long, though. As Vikings, they can pick up once again, go straight for the BC, and then land on the Thor. It's Kamikaze snowballing out of control. GG gets called, and Kamikaze will take game number 1. Kamikaze wins game 1, but Kid B, he won our hearts. He that was beautiful. The nonsense that Kid B was whipping out. I appreciated it. I appreciated it. What I will say, talking a little bit about the build that Kid B had gone for, if it had been a 1-base all-in, I would have liked it a little bit more. I wasn't too fond of the fact that we followed it up with an expansion, if you remember. We had... I should be fixing this up. There we go. But we followed it up with a CC. It was a 1-1-1 into a CC into like a attempted economic game. That I was not too fond of. To be fair, like 1-base BC all-ins, they take a really long time to get going, and they're quite expensive as well. And it's not the easiest build to execute. But despite that, I appreciated like the effort put into it and the creativity behind the build overall. So GG. GG, well played. Didn't work, but, you know, it worked in our hearts. As we're settling into game number 2. And now I have a lot of anticipation here. Like, now I am excited to see, do we have another build? Do we have another quirky, chaotic, wilds build like what we just saw? Or do we rely on the same thing? Getting into game 2, Kamikaze is still the heavy favorites, and we'll see if we can bounce back. Let's go. Let us go. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Golden Aura, we have our Brazilian Terran player, the Red Terran representing Eximius Gaming, leading the series 1-0. It is Kamikaze. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the other Brazilian Terran player, also representing Eximius Gaming as they are teammates. It is Kid B. Not to be confused with Nino, which is I just realized we just casted Kamikaze versus Nino, and Nino, for those that are curious, is Kid, is technically like male Kid, and now we have Kid. There you go. There you go. And we're going for a proxy. There we go. Second SCV being sent across the map. Let's go. We're committing. We have not just one proxy Rax, but we have soon to be a second proxy Rax as well. Clearly, Kid, he's an animal. He's he does nothing but cheese, at least from what we've seen so far in this TVT. And we'll see if we can pull this off as the second SCV is soon to arrive, and the second Rax is going to be thrown down. So 2 Rax Reaper here from Kid. Meanwhile, Kamikaze back at home, double gas opener, is going to be leading into a factory. So this is a very safe opener out of Kamikaze. Does mean that he's not rushing into an economy, he's not rushing into a CC. He should be following this up with Hellions and should be relatively safe. It's going to be impressive. I mean, it's going to come down to the control. The micro of Kid B to pull this off. Oh my god, as that is not Proxy Reaper, that is Proxy Marauder. Okay. Okay, I appreciate it. Once again, well, we're taking a bit of a different turn here. It's going to be Marauders from Kid B, and hopefully we can afford our Marauders as well. There we go, first Marauders on the way. We have our Tech Lab as well, so far so good. We are amassing Marauders. Should be working towards Concussive Shell. And the scary thing about what's about to happen, and I hope the game doesn't just end, as Kamikaze moves out with 1 Reaper, there is literally nothing at home to defend. And with good enough control, this Reaper should not go down. The Reaper should not die, as we can go into the mineral line and we can just pick away at the workers and get so much economic damage done. And we need to pull the trigger soon. Part of me would almost want to see us just pull the boys, just pull the SCVs across the map, and just commit to a 1 base all in. But for now, we're going to try and chase that Reaper down. And here come those Marauders. We have 3 Marauders, soon to be 4, moving up. We have the bunker on the way, it's almost done. Massing up Marines. And we're going tank first? Ooh, that's a little bit risky. The bunker is going to be denied for the time being, but there we go. The bunker does complete. Repair is going to be good enough. We're keeping the bunker alive. We're going to try and focus on the SCVs. The juggling into the bunker. We keep some of these workers alive. Some of them, not all. But alas, we're holding. Yeah, we shut down the first, the second Marauder as well. Upon seeing the missing racks, we just throw down the bunker. Finishes up, we defend. Meanwhile, across the map, ooh, the Reaper was surrounded. So a bit of miscontrol there out of Kamikaze. We'll lose the Reaper. But back at home, with a bunker and with a tank, we're fine. We should be perfectly safe and sound. We are massing up more Marauders, but like, how do we break this position is the problem. Eventually, Marauders will break this down, but the problem is that if we get within range of the bunker, of course, the tank is going to siege up and shut this down. If we get high ground vision, if we can lift, there we go. If we can lift a Rax, that will help. But at this point, it might be too late as we are dropping across the map. Bold move. Kamikaze going for the drop. Kid B. Okay. If we are late to pull the boys, if we are late to pull these workers to repair the bunker can be targeted down. And there's not that much to defend because we sent most of the army across the map. Oh, we're focusing on the depot initially. That is giving time for Kamikaze to respond, to repair. Boys being pulled. We avoid the bunker entirely. Okay. We avoid the bunker. We are supply blocked. Kamikaze can't make anything. Boys are being pulled. How well can we kite? Notice they've broken their way in, but they're within range of the bunker. Yeah, within range. We are distracted back at home. GG gets called. And with that, Kamikaze will take the series. GG. Well played, Bobby. Well played. Hold on. I am from Latin America, but I'm not Brazilian, so hold on. I want to know what was said. I assumed it had something to do with honor, because that's what honor is. He said it was an honor. It was an honor. Well played. GG. GG. Much love to kid. Kind words. But GG, well played. Kamikaze will take the series 2-0, advancing on to the semi-finals. Beautiful. So Kamikaze will advance on, and let's quickly have a look at the bracket, figure out where we are and where we are headed. Let us see. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourselves. When it comes to Kid B's play, again, just wild builds. I appreciate it. Not much to really say. to be honest. Not much to add, not much to say. It was beautiful. As we already have our first upper semifinals underway. Okay, the upper semis are underway. It is going to be Master versus Don Milan. So Master versus, I believe Don Milan is a Zurich player, so that's a PVZ in the upper semifinals. Meanwhile, Inexorable is still waiting for his opponent in the first round. Where is he? Or is he? As Inexorable is still waiting for Sephiroth versus Tadagiba. Meanwhile, Don Milan is going to be up against Master in those semis, but it looks like we're waiting for Cosmos. Yeah, we're gonna be waiting for Cosmos. I think Cosmos is casting Sephiroth. Let me just double check. Shout out to Cosmos. For those who are maybe unaware, Cosmos is the Brazilian caster, a lovely Brazilian commentator. Not just caster, but also organizer of the event, sponsor as well. And yes, he is covering Sephiroth versus Tadagiba. Yeah. Okay. So, yes, Cosmos is currently in that first round match. They're in the ace match as we speak. Winner goes up against Inexorable. Winner of that goes up against Kamikaze. So we're kind of nearing the semifinals portion of the bracket. I can now kind of move the bracket over a little bit. There we go. Actually, I can do this as well. Interact. Bam! I got you covered. But yeah, we're kind of nearing the semifinals, and currently the semifinals are being held. They're being held until Cosmos wraps up his game, the ace match between Sephiroth and Tadagiba. I believe we're going to be jumping into Master versus Don Milan, and then we'll head towards the lower semifinals as well. I believe that is going to be the plan. I believe that is going to be the plan, so may as well set up for it. Master versus, I keep saying Don Milan because I know that's what it translates to. Dominoko. There we go. Dominoko. Beautiful. So from here, we might just go on a break. as we wait for our upper semifinals to get ready. And when it comes to these upper semis, we will be having predictions. I've been avoiding predictions so far just because it has been GMs versus lower tier players. But you know, once we get into the semifinals, predictions will be open, so you can place your bets on who you think will advance on. Coming into this, it's hard to say. So talking about the upcoming matches here, Master is favored against Dominoko, 100%. He is going to be favored there. Best of luck to Dominoko in that ZVP. Master is poised to make it to the finals. But when it comes to the lower semifinals, that's a little bit more up in the air. We have seen Inexorable and Kamikaze go back and forth in TVTs. Likewise, Sephiroth is no slash either. So when it comes to these Terran players facing off, it could go either way. It's a little bit more up in the air. I do favor Inexorable, but as I mentioned before, I think it was last week where Kamikaze brought him down, right? Or was it Yan? I'll double check actually. I think Kamikaze defeated Yan, which was very shocking to me. Was very surprising. Yes, he 2-0'd Yan, which was crazy, absolutely crazy. So clearly, again, Kamikaze has shown that in a TVT, like, he can take it to the best Terran players out there in Brazil. So exciting stuff. Until then, looks like we will be going on a short break though. Yeah, I think we're gonna be going on a short break, and then we'll figure out where we're headed. Cause I think yeah. We'll figure out where we're going. So we're gonna be going on a short break, then we'll have our next series. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that short break. Just trying to figure out what was going on. But it looks like we will be covering the upper semifinals, and Cosmos will be following Sephiroth into Inexorable in the quarterfinals. So we have kind of split up our broadcasts. We'll be covering the upper semis. Cosmos will be covering the lower matches leading into the finals. That is the plan. That is where we are headed. And we have our ZVP. Let's go. For the first time, we can experience a Protoss tonight. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Alcyone, we have our pink Zerg player representing Eximius Gaming, one of the more prevalent teams in the Brazilian scene. It is Dominoko. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the Brazilian Protoss player, the purple Protoss, one of the favorites for the entire event, representing Team Hellfire. It is Master. And if you are in the chat, predictions are open. So place your bets on who you believe will take the series. Coming into this, Master is going to be the favorite player, but I want to believe that Dominoko can bring it to him. Again, he has been on the rise over the past couple of years. In my absence from the Latin American scene, that has been the rise of Inexorable and Dominoko. So we'll see how he does compare. As always, starting off with that. Let's go! We're starting off with a proxy hatch, with a hatch block, I should say. Okay, Dominoko pulling a bit of a dark, is going to be going for a hatch block, followed by a pool first before the expansion back at home. Interesting choice. Not just a pool, a gas as well. Okay, a bit of a more aggressive follow-up. Meanwhile, Master going to be responding with a double gateway setup. Now again, Master has played many a time against Eric, so he is, I'm sure, familiar with this setup. Going double gates, chronoing out the first zealots, walling up initially, and the goal here for Dominoko is to delay the expansion, is to delay the economy of Master. Also, we've finally hit the point where the GMs are facing off against each other. The GMs are facing off. Just to get those predictions going. Beautiful. As for now, we have ourselves to focus down that hatchery. Meanwhile, across the map, we are denied the expansion, and can we get it up and running? Oh, we can. Whew. It is a little bit late, but the expansion does manage to get on location. Master forced to cancel the pylon, and we are settling into our queens, settling into our lings. Dominoko has other resources for ling speed as well, and we somewhat, we pull out of gas. Okay, we pull out of gas. We're not rushing into a Baneling Nest, into a Roach Warren. We do pull out of gas for that first 100 gas for link speed. And we're moving out. Meanwhile, the hatchery does complete, and links are on the way in the main. But this is still a pretty large army here, pretty large force. Links are on the way. The queen isn't going to pop out. It's going to be close, but it looks like it barely will. Queen does pop. Is going for the creep tumor, and can we get it down? Up! No, we cannot. Lings and the Broodlings are going to be able to help out, and we can focus down one of those adepts. It almost does fall. Up! Can we get it? It's close. Close, but no cigars. The adepts do barely get out. The creep tumor has been thrown down, but it gets targeted. Does get targeted. Master will defend. Master cleans all this up. Now we're moving out across the map. And we have a lot to work with. We have how many? We have 4 adepts, 2 zealots. That's a massive army in this kind of game state. And back at home, Dominoko has very little to work with. We have queens, we're massing lings. These are going to be slow lings. Actually, ling speed about to finish up in 10 seconds. Just in time. Remember, it was a gas before hatchery. So ling speed is prioritized. Hatchery gets thrown down. Adepts going for the hatchery, going for the base. And trying to force a cancel. Speaking of, Shade is canceled, and we are getting a lot of damage dealt on this hatchery. And Lings, they surround the zealots. Base taking a lot of hits. Queens are waddling in, and do we commit? We do! We commit into the natural. We get 1 drone kill. Just the one. 1 drone, nice around. Dominoko will clean this up, but the worker count. That's what's concerning. Like, sure, we survive, sure, we defend, sure, we take a 3rd base. But the drone count, it's non-existent here. We're just now droning. We're down 10 workers. I mean, we're slowly catching up. Master likewise taking his own natural, going for a Void Ray first. Stargate into Void Ray. Let's go. It's going to be Stargate into Void Ray. Lings move out, but there's not much they can do. We have a shield battery, we have not an overcharge, but a shield battery at least, 2 pylons, a warlock. Yeah, we're safe and sound. Master is safe. Back at home, fast lair out of Dominoko. Okay. You have my attention. We're going for the fast lair. With this could be a couple of different things. This could be a Link Queen Nidus all in if we take extra gases. If we take 1 extra gas, could be Link Queen Nidus. Otherwise, this could be for Ling Hydra. But it also is predicated on how many gases we take. I'm curious where we're headed. Could even be something a little bit more obscure and something like a Ling drop. Right, we do have an Overlord here towards the left-hand side. We could try to drop in. For now, though, we're focusing on denying the expansion, denying the third. We get the probe. We get 1 adept before pulling back. Not bad. We get some peak-offs. 2 more gases now being taken. We're joining up. And there it is. We have our answer. What was the layer for? The layer was for Hydras. So straight up Ling Hydra out of our Zerg player. But Master is going for a Glaive Adept follow-up. Oof, that's brutal. Glaive Adepts here, they can struggle against Roaches, they can struggle against Banelings, but against purely Ling Hydra, Glaive Adepts, they flourish. They thrive, Bobby. They thrive. So I'm concerned for our Zerg player. Just from the builds of choice. As Adepts, they have the potential to pop off. We already have the first wave, and we have another warp in available soon. But now we have our Oracle coming in from the right-hand side. Void Wraith towards the left. And Queen quite in position. Void Wraith threatens the natural. Does threaten the natural. We get 2 drone kills. Drones go down, and here come the Adepts. Oh my god, just a massive wave of Adepts here on the way. We're sending it across the map, Papi. And Dominoko has what to defend exactly. We have 4 Lings, 2 Hydras, a handful of Queens. This is catching Dominoko with his pants down. He was in the middle of droning. He was in the midst of droning, and alas, drones, they're not going to help you now. Not against this army. Yeah, we shade in, and there's nothing to defend. Even with these reinforcing Hydras, they just get focused down. Hydras, they melt against Adepts. Hydras, Lings, all things Zerg here will fall. And Master pulling out a bit of a classic in a way. Classic trap. A lot of the Korean Protoss players have been embracing this build. Stargate into Glaive Adepts. And so far on this channel for the past week, undefeated. We've seen many a top tier Zerg player die to this. We shade into the main stasis trap going off as well. We'll save the workers. We get 19 drone kills and counting. But yeah, we saw Classic 2-0 Dark with this. We saw Trap at 2-0 Rogue with this. We saw Classic 2-0 Solo with it. Yeah. It's been very trendy this past week. Very trendy. And yeah, it's going to be 20 worker kills. This is going to be cleaned up, but the damage has been dealt. And back at home, Master is getting up to 4 bases. And working towards his +1 Blink Stalker transition. Classic and Trap, their transition, I should say, Classic specifically, his transition is to go into Roaches. Sorry, to get into Immortal production. But that is because he's typically up against a Roach-based army. Against Ling Hydra, there's not as much need. As much need to really embrace that, to embrace Immortals. And Stalkers are moving out, Blink is done. Yeah, we can just dive on the army, aggressive Blinker on the Hydras, GG well played, and Master will take game number 1. GG. GG well played. And with that, Master will take the first game. Yo, Funada Seaberg in the chat. You don't know anyone? Mate, what's going on? Este Seaberg. Doesn't know who Master is? Mate, have you not been watching the Ducklings? Ah. Shaking my head. To be fair, it's been a while. It's been a while since we would feature Master on a weekly basis. For those who don't know, those who are maybe unfamiliar with the history here of the CranKy Ducklings, I know we have a lot of newer viewers in the chat. We of course started casting full time end of 2019. End of 2019 leading into 2020, and back then we mainly casted regional events. We would cast basically regional sea events like Southeast Asia and Oceania. We'd cast a lot of regional Latin American events as well. Specifically, we'd cast Sentimiento Latino, that was a bi-weekly Latin American tournament, and we would also cast Copa Hyperion, which was a bi-weekly Latin American tournament as well. We would also cast Battle of the Americas, that was a weekly American and Latin American only tournament. So we would cast a lot of Latino America, as you can imagine, and American events as well. And yeah, that's where we were able to really showcase and really feature players like Ryu, like Eric, Master, the Zerg Lord, Yanji, for example, like plenty of plenty of Latin American talent back in the day. And that's also one of the reasons why we had a Latin American team. For those who remember, like we had Eric, we had Neo, and we had Ryu. We still have Ryu and Eric as well. True. But that is where we did kind of like rise when it comes to casting on a regular basis, was Latin American StarCraft. Featuring this player here, back then, many years ago. That's spawning in the top left-hand corner. We have the Brazilian Protoss player, the Purple Protoss. Shakti was another one. The Purple Protoss representing Team Hellfire. It is Master. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the Brazilian Zerg player, the Pink Zerg, representing Eximis Gaming. It is Dominoco. Going for the 12 pool. Let's go. Going for the 12 pool, baby. Going for the 12 pool. Also, I was quickly going to double check something. I'm wondering how many times have we casted Master? It's going to be like at least 30. Let's see. More than that. More than that. Oh, typing Master doesn't help. I was typing Master as we're going for a proxy action. Let's go. Okay, the response is a Forge. We're going for a cannon rush response. Honestly, a very clean response here out of Master. Ooh, I say that. Does reposition. Speaking of clean, a little bit dirty here as we were a little bit off center, and with that gives us more time. Lings are flooding across the map. This could be a 12 pool drone pool. For the time being, the workers are being kept at home though, so just flooding Lings across the map. The hatchery has been thrown down to increase service area on these buildings to focus them down, and Dominoco, he is rallying across the map. Let's go. What I was gonna say is I looked up on our YouTube channel the word Master to see how many times we casted him. But that comes up with ESL Master. Like, ESL Master is like the playoffs and the group stage and all that stuff. The qualifiers, so, yeah, doesn't help. Doesn't help, Bobby, doesn't help. Regardless, the Lings, they have arrived, and you can see here the Zealot just cannot defend that gateway. Gateway's under fire and is going to go down. The gateway will fall. We do have a cannon on the way. It is almost done. Cannon's on the brink of finishing, but it will not save the gateway. And we do have a backup gateway on the way. It's about to finish. Gate should fall. Ooh, barely does go down. Drones have arrived, throwing down spine crawlers. Let's go. The spines are on the way. Dominoco back. Let's go. We have shield batteries and no overcharge. No overcharge and shield batteries. Shield batteries, they're out of energy already. They are out of energy. Hatchery, of course, when it goes down, will spawn in broodlings. One Zealot does fall. We're down to one left. Can we make that queen? It's so close. The queen is on the way. Oh my god, it's going to be so close, and barely the queen does morph in. Whew. And now we can spread creep and maintain these spine crawlers. Yeah, the tumor has been thrown down. Spine crawlers, they are now within range. They can take down the cyber core. Stalkers are on the way. We have one. And no shield battery to support this side of the wall. And Stalker has to back off. Behind this, Dominoco is expanding, taking his natural base. No drones yet. We're droning. Okay, bold move. Dominoco, he's droning up. Is going to be droning up. Spine crawlers are going to be settling in. take down the Cyber Core, chipping away at the main army, but we're up to 3 Stalkers, and ooh, that Spine Core has to pull back. No! Oh my god, the body blocking almost killed the Spine! Calm down! Almost have a transfuse. We do have one. We can transfuse. No! Oh god, we barely do get it. Stalker barely does survive. We can force this back. Shield Batteries will top up the Stalkers. We will eventually break out. Behind this again, we have been heavily droning, double expanding. Spine Crawlers will eventually go down. Trying to buy time, but oh, the Spine Crawler does get sniped. And now we're the hell out of here. Do have to retreat. Unfortunately, we didn't find the time to spread creep. We could have thrown down 1 or 2 extra creep tumors throughout the course of this. No extra creep yet. Okay, observers on the way. We are expanding, going for a safety immortal. Master survives, he holds, but back at home, and Dorminoko, he is going to be able to saturate that natural. Is joining up, working towards a longer game. Okay, as the dust does settle, who do I favor? Who do I favor in this position? I mean, it's hard to say. Dorminoko has a lot of catching up to do. Drone-wise and tech-wise, right? Link speed just now starting, there's no Roach War in either. And Dorminoko is building up towards a Templar Archives. Sorry, a Twilight Council. Now, I'm concerned that this Twilight Council is going to be for Glaives. I'm concerned it's going to be for Glaive Adepts again. From the side of Master. And if that's the case, I mean, we've seen how that goes. Especially in this game state with limited gas. Yeah, 2 more gateways being thrown down. We have a 4-gate setup. Show us the Glaives. Lair is going to be on the way. If Dorminoko goes for Hydras again, never mind. It is not Glaives. Okay. Okay, Papi. Okay, you got my attention. Templar Archives into charge, I imagine. So Charge Lord Archon from Master. Interesting. Very interesting setup. Going for the Warp Prism. Okay, okay. Basically, we're going for a bit of a delayed or a bit of a roundabout way of working towards an Archon drop. Prism, we can morph in High Templar, get in Archons, and drop across the map. Charge is indeed on the way. It's going to take a little bit longer to really embrace Charge, but it is going to be on the horizon here for Master. And we should be expanding. I'm curious if this is going to be just straight up 2-base all-in, or if we do take a 3rd. If it's an all-in, we should be seeing extra gateways. We should be seeing like a 5th and 6th gateway from Master. Meanwhile, Dorminoko is going Ling Hydra. So if this was just Glaives, we could just win the game. we could have just won it straight up, here and now. Could have just ended it with Glaive Adepts. Alas, we can see that it is going to be Charge instead. So Dorminoko will have a chance to fight back. We will have more of a back and forth. There we go, the Archons are going to be dropped in. So initially going for Archon drop harass. Meanwhile, Master just building up. Expanding, taking his 3rd, settling in. The drop has arrived, we're going for the mineral line. And drones are going to be falling. Again, nice juggling here out of Master. Does trade well against the Lings. Oh my god. And doesn't just trade well, shaves off so many of them. Oh my god, a lot of Lings go down. That was how many? 43 Lings throughout the course of this game. Hydra's going for the dive, but they will not catch that Prism. Nice control out of Master, he does get away. Master does slip away. Likewise, Dorminoko just going to be building up, getting into Hydra speed, getting into +1 range. Dorminoko trying to embrace fooling Hydra. But honestly, without Bailings, I'm concerned. When the armies clash, Chargel Archon can just annihilate Ling Hydra real quick. We could need those Bailings. Likewise, not just Chargel Archon, we have Storm on the way. Storm is in production for Master. Ay, ay, ay. It's gonna be brutal as Master's just building up on 3 bases. While Dorminoko, likewise, trying to keep up. has a similar economy, which is what's concerning. We do need a 4th base. We do need a 4th. We have Sage Bits on the way, Lurker Den as well. If Dominoko can survive and get into Lurker Tech, then we can make a game out of this, right? We can hold, we can survive, we can get into a longer back and forth. But there's going to be a window. There's going to be a window where Storm is done and Lurkers are not. It's in that window where Master can straight up end the Zerg player. And we're getting ready. We're getting ready for that move out. We have Zealous moving out on one end, we have the main army on the other. War Prism is set up to reinforce right here outside the 4th. And Dominoko just doesn't have the numbers to defend. Oh, the High Templar! Oh, we forced out the first storm. We forced out the first storm. We made out the first one. There's 2 more left. At the same time, Zealous, they get cleaned up. Dominoko in position. Does shut the Zealous down. 1 storm remaining. We can't waste it. We do deny the base. We deny the expansion. And Mastery backs off. Does retreat, does back off. That's all he needs to do. Just deny the base. Take our own. So Master takes an economic lead. Meanwhile, Lurkers are in production. These are going to be Lair Tech Lurkers for the time being. So not the most ideal Lurkers to work with. But hey, it's good enough. We're holding, baby. We're holding. We are holding on. Hive is done. Upgrades can now commence. With its Lurker upgrades. Adrenal as well. Vipers. Viper's not going to be as impactful here just because there's no Disruptors or Colossus. I mean, we can abduct Immortals, but I think for now we do have to hyperfixate on Lurker Tech. So Dominoko is droning. Master moving out. This time with many more storms available. How many High Templar do we have? It's 8. 8 High Templar. My god. Double Stargate behind this. Getting ready for Sky Toss. We are pushing in massive storm with the legs. Oh my god. The storm was brutal and we do have more left. We shut down the Lings, but the Lurkers, they hold their ground. The Lurkers do hold on at the same time. Lurkers likewise defending the left-hand side. They do defend the fringe base. We are holding. As Immortals, they dive on those Lurkers. There's 3 left. And Master does force the opponent back. Likewise, they'll run by diving on the hatchery. And can we get it? Can we focus on the base? It's going to be close. We can. Yeah, despite the Lurkers being in position, the hatchery does go down. And Dominoko, he's just 1 step behind in tech because as he's getting into Hive Tech Lurkers, we have Skytoss. Fleet Beacons on the way. We're getting ready for Carrier for that Skytoss army. Master just 1 step ahead. Dominoko still building on more Lurkers, still trying to survive. Still in a low economy as well. We do double expand, which will help. And if we give Dominoko a little bit more time, then he can get up to a more ideal drone count, up to 80 workers, and then max out. True, we can do that. The problem is we're going to max out on Ling Hydra Lurker. No Vipers, yes. No Spire either. Carrier production has commenced. Again, Master is going to be ready for that kind of army. We'll be ready for it. Things I set up for a run by. Vipers are on the way. That will help. Even with carriers, even against carriers. Hydra Lurker Viper can hold its own. Not easy. Can't pull it off. So as we only leave three Lurkers, the base is gonna go down. Yeah, we lose the 4th. Dominoko has a backup base, thankfully. His main running over, but still in low drone counts. Vipers have arrived. We have 2 Vipers so far. And we have potential for abductions, for Blinding Clouds. Against Mass Immortal like this, Blinding Clouds can help with the fight. They can make a fight here for Dominoko. And not going to be easy. As Master rotates around. Worker Subaru. Trying to cash out the army. We'll force out those storms. Ooh, massive storms on the Hydras. And leaves are shut down. Lurkers coming in. Oh, they didn't quite connect. They didn't quite connect their spine shots. And it looks like the carriers, they're about to reveal themselves. Until now, Dominoko didn't know. Now he does. Does spot the carriers. Spire immediately on the way. Going for the yoink. Gets one. Gets two. Can we focus them down? Oh, we barely can. It cost us a lot, but we did get two carriers. And that Spire just now starting up. We need more time. The base, once again, it's going to be cancelled. And there's no saving it. The base is cancelled. Dominoko building on more lurkers. Does hold them to the ramp. Does hold. We're lacking spores. Lacking spores, lacking a setup. As we can see, Dominoko trying to wrap around the army. I mean, both armies are maxed out, but I would still give the edge to Master. It is Skytoll / Storm. Master gonna pull back. Pull back. Expanding, taking another base. That's a wall of cannons and shield batteries on the way. Dominoko, can we deny that base? Can we even catch out the army? Oh, we spot the workers. The cannons, they finish up just in time. And now Master can try to sandwich the army. Going for the base. Spine just going up. Ooh, not quite connecting. And here we go. We can start a set forward. We're focusing down at those carriers. Where's the storm? Yeah, there we go. Now they come in towards the end. Well, we did catch a lot of those interceptors. Overseer gets targeted. Interceptors falling. Once again, the storms are not quite really adding to the fight. Yeah, the lurkers are just zoning them away. We focus on the carrier. A very nice trade here by Dominoko. And he will focus on the base. Oh, the lurkers, they're exposed. Oh my god. We will barely hold on. Dominoko is pulling this off. Again, just a really nice position. Like the High Templar that was zoned away the entire fight, essentially. Now we're diving in. And now should be the time that we leave. As lurkers are being shut down, storms are coming in. Without lurkers, the High Templar, they have less to fear. But the surround, the concave. Let's go. We take the fight. The concave is solid. Lurkers, once again, they burrow just in time. I just still feel like we've overstayed our welcome, but we're sneaking up on the High Templar. Oh no! Massive spot! Massive shots! Oh my god, we take down every High Templar! Bappy, let's go! Keep going! Oh my god! Sneaky moves here out of Dominoko. Charge also coming in to reinforce. We have to pull back behind those lurkers. It's also going down. More carriers have arrived. Oh my god, mass carrier! Who needs storm? Potentially Master. It's gonna be close. Hydra's coming in to reinforce, and do we have enough to bring down all those interceptors? We do not. Yeah, the mass carrier does take the fight. Dominoko forced back. Even without splash damage, he cannot take that head on. Corruptors are on the way. Viper can help out at least a little bit somewhat with the power bombs. And we do start to step in. Yeah, we catch the army on creep. We get one, we get two, we get three. 3 carriers, barely 4. Very nice catch here from Dominoko. Takes down 4 carriers. How many are left? 7. 7 carriers remaining. Archons are on the way. High Templar as well. A very, very close fight here. But alas, Master taking another base. Still has a very powerful standing army. Dominoko still on a low drone count this entire time. 67 workers, barely an economy. This is a 3-base economy. We need a base. We need another expansion. We need drones. If Dominoko was on 80 workers, I would favor him, but he's not there. And he's being outscaled. You know, despite these amazing fights, and these have been some really good fights out of Dominoko, I'm impressed. The problem here is the economy, the macro. The macro is what's failing us here. Lack of extra bases, lack of workers, lack of economy. Corruptors diving in, but this is the final fight here, or the final army that Dominoko has. We get 2 carries, but we're bleeding out too much. Bleeding out Hydras, bleeding out Corruptors. And Dominoko just cannot keep up. He cannot sustain himself. Again, like, really nice fights out of Dominoko, but it wasn't the micro, it was the macro. The macro that did fail us. GG gets called, and Master will take the series 2-0, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. GG, well played. Master does take the series, and we expected Master to be the favorite to take the series, but a shout out to Dominoko because he did so well. Dominoko did so well catching out the High Templar, catching out the army, sniping carriers despite being down, despite being behind in economy. Dominoko, he made a game out of that. Again, I'm impressed. As mentioned before, unfortunately, Dominoko could not sustain his losses. Unfortunately, he was stuck on a 3-base economy. What I'm referring to is 67 drones. 67 drones is 3-base economy. We needed another base. We needed more workers. Without that, we could not keep up with our losses, and eventually, Master just out-traded and outscaled the Zerg. GG, well played. With that, congratulations to Master. We have our first finalist, and now we're getting ready for our next series. We're getting ready for our next matchup here. It looks like the lower semifinals is ready. Okay. Lower semifinals is ready. So with this, Master is our first finalist, and we'll be preparing here for our second series, for our second semifinals to determine who faces off against Master in those grand finals. Will it be one Terran or the other? It's going to be Inexorable versus Kamikaze in a TVT. Let's go. Okay. Looks like our players need a moment, so they do need a moment here before they are ready for their match. So we have some time to ourselves. Again, looks like Inexorable was able to bring down Sefidofe. Was able to bring him down. Huh. And now we're jumping into our next best of 3. We're jumping into our next best 3. You can hear the beeps are loading into game 1 on Oceanborn. This is going to be a little bit more back and forth. I will not be surprised if this goes to the ace match. Coming into this, I want to favor Inexorable. He's been hot. He's been on fire, rising through the ranks of the Brazilian scene. We'll see how this does turn out. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Oceanborn, we do have our Brazilian Terran player, the yellow Terran representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Inexorable. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the Brazilian Terran player, the blue Terran representing Eximius Gaming. It is Kamikaze. Let us go. And if you're in the chat, predictions are open. You can place your bets on who you believe will take this series, who will take this TVT. We were featuring Kamikaze earlier. He was able to warm up in the TVT matchup, but Inexorable is coming in as a much greater challenge, as of course both these players are GM. Both are looking to make a finals run here. We'll see if they can, and we'll see who's it going to be. For now, double gas opener out of Kamikaze, going for a faster factory after the Rex. Meanwhile, Inexorable going for a Rax Expand. Economic opener from our yellow Terran. Meanwhile, a more aggressive, or arguably safer opener out of Kamikaze. We go. We are going to be settling in. So I do appreciate that our players have opened up in a different manner. SCV Scout coming in from Inexorable, just making sure that there is no cheese, no proxy, that everything's on the up and up. Don't blame him, not uncommon for players to proxy, and we have hidden the racks. Oh, and do we react? Come back in. Okay. SCV comes back in. We confirm the racks is thrown down further back, so did force a bunker, a big reaction actually. A big reaction, as it is just going to be a reaction to factory, and this is an overreaction from Inexorable. Now he knows, now he realizes, the mind games are real. Yeah, the mind games were brutal here. Basically, the first thing that Inexorable saw was the missing racks, so he threw down bunkers, ready for a proxy. It was anything but. So really nicely done here by Kamikaze. Does mind game the hell out of Inexorable. I'm sure big reason for this is Kamikaze has proxied Inexorable in the past, has cheesed him out. No other reason to force that reaction. At the same time, Inexorable does shoot first. Shoot first, forcing back the Reaper. From here we are settling in. Are going to be settling in. We're getting to a 1-1-1. Uh-oh. Okay, a lot's popping off. Inexorable, he did not confirm the starport. He only saw the racks into factory, which is standard. And Kamikaze is getting ready for a one-base all-in. This is a very big commitment, very delayed CC, if a CC at all is going to be thrown down. Straight up one-base play out of Kamikaze. We're doubling down. And the problem here is that Inexorable, I'm sure, is tempted to cut corners after the forced overreaction. Like, I'm sure he wants to recover from that. So I'm concerned. We're getting into Cloak Banshee. Cyclone Cloak Banshee here out of Kamikaze. Now we get the CC on the way, but this is a very late command center. This has to get damage. This is a very aggressive start. This needs to get damage done. Otherwise, Kamikaze is just going to be outscaled in this TVT. Back at home, Inexorable getting to his own 1-1-1 setup. Going for a safety Viking. Embracing, I imagine, tank production. Settling into our game. Reaper trying to get a scout off, but alas is going to be shut down. Nice defense there from Inexorable. We have our add-on swap. Okay, so it's going to be Viking first into Raven. Raven will allow us to have detection. Not really the purpose of having the Raven. Raven is also designed to get into interference matrix to support a tank-based army. It's going to be ideal against these Banshees. As the first Banshee's moving out, Cloak done in 10 seconds. Second Banshee on the way. And we're double expanding. That is going to be a natural into a third CC. I mean, we have to, right? If we're going for a longer game, we do need to double expand. As a factory on the way, it's going to be Mech from Kamikaze. So Banshee into Mech. Meanwhile, Inexorable embracing Bio. It's going to be Bio Tank, I should say. Banshee does dip in. Dips in, but we are in position. Oh my god, we're going to shut this down completely. The first Banshee will fall. What do we get? We get one Marine. One Marine, one SCV, not worth it here for Kamikaze. As a reminder, he is transitioning out of this. The Hellion does confirm the double expand, and this tells us a lot. This tells us, this confirms that Inexorable, hold up, if you're double expanding, you're vulnerable right now. I can build up towards a big timing. And it's a 2-base all-in. Did we confirm? Kamikaze, he did not. Ooh. We might have seen the second starport as it was being floated over, but this is a 2-port, 2-base all-in out of Inexorable. The way this works, we're banking up and building up a hefty Viking count into a Liberator, and we're going for a massive 2-base all-in. We saw this a lot last night in WTL. We saw this a lot out of Maru, actually. Maru versus Spirit. Maru went for this build every game versus Spirit last night in WTL. Every single game. And Maru did 2-0 Spirit. Did 2-0 Spirit. To be fair, Actually, interesting, similar dynamic. The reason why Spirit struggled to defend last night against Maru is because Spirit kept going 3cc. He kept going 3 for a very fast third base, very greedy against Maru, and Maru, he recognized that and just punished it, went for the 2-base all-in. And similar dynamic, where Kamikaze also rushes into a third CC, which means he's vulnerable to an all-in. Here comes Inexorable. We do have 3 tanks on low ground, true. We do have our tank setup. But disables research. We have 3 Ravens. We can disable all 3 tanks. We scan ahead of time. 3 tanks, 3 Ravens. We're ready to break through. Oh boy. And we can't just commit. Inexorable taking it slow. Meanwhile, across the map, Banshees are getting damage done. There we got 6 SCV kills. Banshees taking a lot of hits. Oh my god, taking a lot of damage. Now we're up to 4 tanks. Inexorable, he might be missing his moment, he might be missing his opportunity. We gotta send it, we gotta go. We have to go here and now. Time is working against us. As we send a Raven back home to defend. Ay, ay, ay. Raven's being sent home. Inexorable trying to gain ground. But now that tank count is getting higher and higher. Oh, Banshee does barely get away. Does barely get away. Finally going to be going down, but Kamikaze has a massive worker lead. Now that the bases have been cleaned up, we can rally everything across the map. But Inexorable, he expands. He takes the 3rd CC. 3rd CC on the way for Inexorable, just now finishing up. And we are containing Kamikaze. We can get a little bit more done. When the Liberator arrives, the Liberator can bully back this army. Vikings are amassing. Liberator does siege. We do force a big on siege here from Kamikaze. And I can slowly push forward. We go for the disable. Yeah, we're going for the dive. Auto starts to throw down Vikings. They land from behind. We go for a full surround. Vikings trying to land, and it looks like Inexorable. He will take the fight. He shuts down the army. GG gets called, and Inexorable takes game number 1. Whew. GG. I was concerned. I was concerned that Inexorable had missed his timing, that he had waited too long, that he had missed his timing for the 2-base all-in, and that Kamikaze had gotten away with it. I mean, his Banshees were doing so much damage across the map, they bought so much time, but Kamikaze still could not recover, still could not keep up with the forces of his opponent. Did have a lot of tanks, but again, we had plenty of Ravens, plenty of energy. If a Raven or 2 had been sniped, different game, but alas, that is not the case, and Inexorable takes a lead. Whew, oh my god. Does take a lead. And with that, we are jumping into game number 2. Let's go. Game 2 is going to be on side Delta. Game 3 is going to be on post youth if we ever get that far. I'm hoping for an ace match. I'm hoping for a back and forth. I mean, even this game was back and forth, right? We had, you know, the mind games and the fake out with the fake proxy. Likewise, we had the 3cc with the initial Banshee opener, which was wild. Very committed start out of Kamikaze. It was very back and forth, and I appreciate it. That was some StarCraft vibe. It's beautiful. So Dark could be settling in. Waiting for our players to ready up. Alright, getting ready. And you can hear the beeps. We are loading into game number 2. As a reminder, the winner of the series will advance on to face off against Master in the next round. Master, the Protoss, is lying in wait. Who's it gonna be? As morning in the top left-hand corner of side Delta, we have our Brazilian Terran player, the Yellow Terran, representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Inexorable. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the other Brazilian Terran player, the Red Terran, representing Eximius Gaming. It is Kamikaze. We go. go as we are entering game number 2. We saw the Kamikaze kind of went for like a fake proxy racks in game 1. This time, I'm just going for the racks at the ramp, at the wall. Not doing anything too crazy, not this time. Going for a much more standard setup here, at least in our main. It is going for a more standard setup. Likewise, interesting. Okay, this time double gas. Double gas opener out of Inexorable, double gas out of Kamikaze. This time both players are going for faster factories. If you remember, last game Inexorable tried to go for a more economic start. This time, we're playing it safe. We are playing it safe here. I'm sure Inexorable is a little bit afraid of an actual proxy, so wants to make sure he doesn't get caught out as we are mirroring each other. Are going to be mirroring each other here. Factories are on the way for both players, both Kamikaze and Inexorable, and we'll see how we diverge from here. This could be Reaper Hellion, right? Could be Reactor Reaper Hellion, could be Reaper Cyclone, could be a 1-1-1 into a Starport, into a Banshee, for example, as you saw previously. We have options. We have options to how we want to approach this setup. We can see Inexorable's checking for proxies, meanwhile Kamikaze moves out towards the center of the map. Bold move out of Kamikaze, but he will shoot first if Inexorable does go through the center. Alas, he should just stay at home. There is our expansion on the way for both players. And so far we are still mirroring each other. Racks into Factory, into CC. There's no crazy 1-1-1 setup here at a Kamikaze, not this time. Calming things down. Here we go, we do move out. Alas, Inexorable has the high ground. Kamikaze has to respect that, has to retreat. She's that, don't push tanks into Liberators. I mean, he had to. He was, otherwise he was just dead. What are you talking about? Inexorable was pushing in, Bob. He was pushing in. And Kamikaze was committed. He had to break out in some way. Surround, not a bad option. When it comes to that setup, I would have preferred Kamikaze pulling the boys. I would have to remember, I'd have to wind it back. I don't think he did when he tried to break out, but again, you have to react quite hard to that if you want to defend. We've seen many a player, many a time, break a siege line like that by pulling the boys to be able to break through the tanks and break through the lib. Meanwhile, Reaper goes for a full scout into the main, does get eyes on the 1-1-1 before being cleaned up. And with that, that means that Inexorable has a massive army lead. We just threw away 2 Reapers. And 2 Reapers were thrown away. Now Kamikaze, he is exposed. We're moving out across the map with a massive supply lead. Inexorable, what do we have? We have 1 Cyclone. We do not have the tank yet. Tank is still on the way. Hellion will dip in, will distract, but Inexorable, he doesn't care. He's going for the kill. If he can shut down the Cyclone, that's going to be it. Cyclone is going to be targeted. It does fall. And what do we have left? We have Vanilla Marines. There's going to be a tank on the high ground, but SCVs are going down. We do get the workers. Tank will siege. Okay, the tank will siege, that we do hold the high ground. We get 7 SCV kills, and we deny any kind of mining, any kind of setup. A brutal start here for Kamikaze. Again, this is why you need to be so careful with your Reapers early on. You cannot throw them away. You cannot send them out like that. Otherwise, you'll be punished so hard. But we lost the Reaper, we lost the Hellion. And yeah, we are just containing Kamikaze to 1 base. Banshee moving out behind this. This is going to be a Banshee follow-up into Bio, into Stim. Going for the tank. Bold move. Won't quite get it. Inexorable does have to back off, does have to retreat. But the damage was done. And with that, Inexorable takes a massive economic advantage. 3rd CCs on the way for both players. And Inexorable is not done. He's slipping in with the Banshee. But we have a Viking in position. It's going to be a one-way trip. We deny mining time, not much more than that. We get eyes on the 3rd CC. We shut the Banshee down. Good defense here from Kamikaze. Does shut down the Banshee. I believe we have a Viking lead as a result. Yes, we do have a Viking lead, slightly. both players building up. And the pressure is now on Kamikaze. It's now on our red Terran to try to get some damage done. Now, because we have the 3rd CC, we're not going for an all-in. So all-in is off the table for Kamikaze. He's going to be committing, going to be building up. Going to be building up. And we'll see what he does at build up into. We'll see if he just plays it safe. Force. Okay. Let's go. Double expand. I feel like we're gonna throw down a factory as well, right? I feel like we're gonna mech it up. We have to at this point. But bold move. I mean, this is a way to catch up. Double expand, going for the 4cc already. And once again, this is a similar story to the previous game because of the greed of Kamikaze. Once again, greed from Kamikaze. He's vulnerable. Kamikaze is vulnerable to a push. He's vulnerable to an attack. Inexorable's moving out. And I am concerned for the red Terran player. Now, he is embracing Stim, so we are playing Buyer, not Mech. Not Mech this time. It's going to be Buyer play out of Kamikaze. But I don't see how he takes the 3rd. I'll be honest. This 3rd base, he's going to try and land it, but I don't think he can. We have eyes on this already. The army's moving out. Helion's in position. CC going to be floating over. And we spot the CC. We also scan and we spot the 4th as well. And Inexorable, his ideal here is to wait and let this CC land. Let it land, let it set up, and then we push in. So we can just wait for that moment. Across now we have our own 3rd base up running, and now we're going for the dive. Yeah, we stim on forward. The goal here to kill the base. Gonna kill, not a lift. We start to step forward, we focus it down. It's gonna be close. Up. It's gonna be close and we can get it. Yeah, the CC, it does fall. Massive pickoff. Inexorable, he gets a snipe and he unsieges and gets the hell out of here. He's like, cheese it. Get out of here. Takes down the CC, does retreat behind this. We are using our 4th as our 3rd. Technically, we're able to retake our base, I guess, but that's 400 minerals down the drain. Massive pickoff here by Inexorable. So just see Inexorable rotating around. Scan will reveal the tank line, but we can just avoid the tanks. Checking the main base, no turrets. No defensive setup here in the main. And we don't need a tower, we need a sensor tower more than anything. Sensor towers, it does defend the 3rd, but not the main. Yeah, there we go. Turrets are on the way, but it's too late! No, we need the turrets! Inexorable. He is moving out. Turrets, actually, they might finish in time. Okay, he boosts in. Is boosting in. We bypass the turrets to go straight for the main. Straight for the main base. Likewise, Kamikaze is distracted and the dropping comes in. And workers are going down. Kamikaze trying to keep up. Ooh, this I'm not so fond of. We do dive into the tank line. Auto charge are thrown down and Kamikaze, he can hold. Yeah, he shuts this down. Inexorable did misjudge the army there. Gotta respect the tank line, Bobby. Kamikaze does hold on, but at the same time, he's losing the main. We do deny combat shields. And can we get the CC? No shot. No shot, Bob. Yeah, a little bit too greedy. The base will survive. Kamikaze will hold. And was that worth it for Inexorable? Looking at the trades here, Inexorable, he got 6 Marines. Oh, so we're getting a bit of a pause. But, well, actually, I can't check the battle report. Inexorable, he got 6 Marines and 3 SCVs. Not worth it. That was not a worthwhile trade for Inexorable. Kamikaze is behind, but that fight, that was necessary. That was a solid fight there for Kamikaze. He's bouncing back. He was able to kill 3 tanks, able to disrupt most of the army. So Kamikaze is still in this, but he needs to rely on another big fight. He has to win another trade like that one, and then he can, get into this. He can stabilize. But for now, it looks like we have, a bit of an issue. I don't know if it's a latency issue or maybe, maybe food is at the door. Maybe Uber Eats has arrived. Gotta get the food. I understand. So So we're more than happy to wait. More than happy to wait for any issues to be resolved. We are all good. Ooh. And yeah, hope everyone's been enjoying themselves. I know for some people, it's maybe their first time at seeing some of these players, and it's been a lot of good fun. It's been good. It's been good, Pappy. It's been good. Always do appreciate it. I do miss the good old days where we did have a more thriving Latin American scene, and we were able to feature more players from more regions, from more countries. Maybe one day. Maybe one day. Oh, looks like we are good to go. Alright, good to go. Just waiting for our players to ready up. And 3, 2, bam.
Game resumed.
Alright, good to go. For those that are curious, Kamikaze, he heard a car alarm going off and was a little bit concerned that something was happening, so just had to check. Those are curious. Had to make sure his cars were good. Had this Inexorable getting his own 4th on location. Likewise, Kamikaze also building up towards his 4th base as well. Again, Kamikaze not too far behind economically. And is evening up that army supply as well. We're getting there. Kamikaze getting in position. Relying a lot on his Vikings. Does have the air control, does have the Viking lead. At the same time, we do see Inexorable being cheeky. Does dive in and shuts down the 2 turrets. We'll clean them up. Thankfully, we have another backup ring of turrets on the way. Inexorable moving out. Does move out. Moving towards the 3rd, and we are not quite in position. We have 3 tanks, but the rest of the army not quite here. Inexorable, he goes to the dive. He gets 1 tank, gets a 2nd. Ooh, and we'll barely get the 3rd. Yeah, 3 tanks full, and Inexorable, he does maintain this. Shuts down all the tanks within range. But cannot gain any ground. More reinforcements on the way, and Inexorable still maintains that supply lead. Is going to make use of it. Ooh. Sniper medevac. Just 1 medevac left. We go for another stim. Yeah, but barely any tanks within range this time. We break through. We're getting some of the Vikings. The Vikings are going down. They cannot help. GG, well played. And Inexorable will take this series 2-0, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. That. GG, well played. Inexorable will take it. That was a very, very intense series, a very intense back and forth there. Kamikaze had his own moments, but overall Inexorable was able to be a little bit more decisive here. If you recall, last game we did have the 2-base all-in punishing the greed of Kamikaze after a wild start of going for a 1-1-1 Banshee opener. In game number 2, we had Kamikaze being punished for losing his first couple of Reapers. If you remember, his first 2 Reapers and a Hellion were thrown away, and that left him vulnerable. Because of that, Inexorable started the game, killing 7 SCVs. 7 workers went down. We denied mining time, we killed the Cyclone. Inexorable got a lot of damage early on, and that gave him a big edge. Because Inexorable was so ahead after the early game, Kamikaze felt the need to rush into a 4th CC, if you remember. Rush into a 4th CC, hyper greedy. He was punished for that greed. Inexorable did pull him apart. We saw Kamikaze take like a good fight, that's true. Inexorable did overextend in the center of the map, but that was kind of one of the only big moments for Kamikaze, and did need more. He needed to, you know, catch a full medevac, which, I mean, he did defend the main base quite nicely, but he needed to catch like a full medevac or outposition the army. Needed something more to go his way. Unfortunately, did not quite turn out that way in the end, and now we have our 2 finalists. We have our TVP. Okay, we knew it was going to be a Terran versus Protoss, but which Terran? It's going to be Inexorable versus Master. Here we go. And we'll be setting up for this final best of 5. are going to be setting up. Vetoes are underway, and we are getting ready for the grand finale. Let's go. Getting ready for that finale. And when it comes to these finals, we have seen Master and Inexorable go back and forth. The last time they faced, I believe Master did defeat Inexorable last edition of the Code for Giants Cup. Let me just quickly double check. Yes, Master. No, sorry, my apologies. The other way around. It was in Code for Giants Cup number 5. Number 5, where Inexorable was able to bring down Master 2-0. So that was a big win for Inexorable. Then in number 6, the previous edition, we had Master take down Inexorable 2-1. So back and forth, right? 2 weeks ago, Master took the series in the Ace match. 2 weeks before that, Inexorable took the series 2-0. So very back and forth. What I'm getting at in a best of 5, I do not expect a 3-0. I do not expect a 3-0. I expect this to be a little bit more dynamic here in their series against each other. And I don't really know who to favor. I'll be honest. I don't really know who I want to favor here. Regardless, we are getting ready for those finals. And if you're in the chat, predictions will soon be open after the break. We're going on a short break and just allowing our players to get a breather, get some water, get some rest for a moment before jumping into a full best of 5. We'll be back soon after this break. See you then. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the Grand Finals, the final series here of Code for Giants Cup number 7, your bi-weekly dose of Brazilian StarCraft. Oh boy, it's been quite an event so far. We've been seeing some favorites make it through. We've been seeing some more amateur players have their time in the sun as well. And now we've made it all the way to the Grand Finals. We saw these two players were going to face off from the beginning. They're the two highest rated players in the bracket. We did have some contention. We did have some spiciness in the semifinals, but we've made it to the finals, to the best of 5. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Alcione, we have our Brazilian Protoss player, the Purple Protoss, representing Team Hellfire. It is Master. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Brazilian Terran player, the Yellow Terran himself, representing the Final Heroes. It is Inexorable. And if you are in the chat, predictions are open. Place your bets on who you believe will take the series. This best of 5 will go one way or the other, the way of the Protoss or the way of the Terran. Up to you to decide. I was going over some of the brief history between these players earlier about how close it is between them, how often they trade back and forth. One week it's Master taking the series, another week it's Inexorable taking the series. So I would be shocked if this is a 3-0. I'd be shocked if it's just a straight up 3-0. I expect this to go back and forth and to go the distance. Whether it's game 4 or game 5, we'll see. We're here to find out. For now, we do see Master checking for proxies. He's going to be scouting towards the left-hand side. Before I get to ahead of myself as well, a big shout out to the Squirrel Fund. Thank you so much, Monsieur Squirrel, for the support, for subscribing for 3 months in a row. Thank you so much for the support. We do appreciate it. Hope you enjoy the casting. Hope you enjoy the StarCraft. Hope you enjoy the content. That's as we're selling into our Grand Finals. Are selling in. Behind this double gas opener into a faster factory, but with a more aggressive start by Inexorable. Meanwhile, standard opener out of Master was a little bit paranoid, checking for a proxy. Outside of that, standard opener, so we're just easing away in towards a longer game. My eyes are mainly on Inexorable. They're mainly on Inexorable here to try to determine kind of how he will approach this and what this opener does lead into. With a double gas opener, this can lead into Reaper Hellion, this can lead into Cyclones, can lead into a Widowmine drop, or even a Banshee based opener. We have potential. We have potential here. A lot of options available for Inexorable. Going for our expansion. Reaper moving out, going for a scout. Trying to get a read on what's going on. Interesting. Fast tech lab here for Inexorable. So we skipped the initial Widowmine, we skipped the Hellion, we skipped the Cyclone. Rushing into that tech lab. Interesting. We'll see where this does lead us. Meanwhile, Reaper does confirm the expansion. At least we have our tech of choice. Going to be a Twilight Council opener out of Master. Also, are we setting up for an add-on swap, or are we going for a fast tank? What do you have, Inexorable? What do you got? Ooh, Adept does slip out across the map, will delay the CC. Likewise, Reaper gets into the middle line. We trade workers for workers. 2 probes going to be going down. Can we get a third? We can. 3 probe kills. Not bad by Inexorable, but he will be contained on 1 base. Doesn't lose many SCVs, but he is denied the expansion. A big reason for this is we skipped the Cyclone. We skipped the Cyclone. We're going tank first into 2 more Raxes. Oh my god, very committed here out of Inexorable. Going for the Banshee, going for the Medevac as well. Setting up for an early tank drop. Unfortunately, we're supply blocked. Big supply block here. The CC should have been done by now. That's why we're supply blocked. SCVs coming in, and we will eventually regain control of the low ground. But this is a massive delay and a massive disruption of the opener of our build of choice. Is a big delay, but again, a very aggressive build here from Inexorable, getting into our initial tank drop. Back at home, we have Blink, we have 2 gateways. Going to be 2 gate Blink for the time being. Ooh, did I say 2 gate Blink? That is a 3rd gateway on the way, so 3 gate Blink out of Master. Very safe play. What does this mean? This means that we have extra warp ins. This means that we are eventually taking a 3rd base, but we are prioritizing our Blink Stalkers here, are prioritizing the ability to be able to defend against early game aggression. We are moving out. The boys are being pulled. The Adept does confirm. Big scout here from Master. Does get eyes on the SCVs as Inexorable is committed. We're moving out with everything we have across the map. No mining whatsoever at the natural. Inexorable is committed. And because of the opener of Master, because of this safe play, like, we're ready for this. We're going to be ready. Going for the tank. Oh, a bit of an overextension. We do bleed out a Stalker. Yeah, Blink is not done. Second Stalker goes down. Massive pickoffs. Exorbital pushing in and getting within range of the Robo. Yeah, the Robo is under fire. Bunker's on the way. The Immortal cannot come out in time. Boys are being pulled and trying to save that Robo. Tank shots on the Stalkers, but alas, we're getting on top of the first tank. First tank goes down, second tank as well, and Master will shut this down completely. And with the help of the Immortal, there's just nothing left here for the Terran. Bleeds out the medevac. 3 Marines left. The bunker may barely finish in time, but yeah, no Marines remaining. Meanwhile, across the map, we've had that Adept just wreaking havoc. That was 10 probes falling, but alas, Master holds. And Master has a worker lead. It's up in workers. Third base is now on the way. And now Master can counterattack. Remember, we have Blink. We have Blink. We have plenty of Stalkers. We can counterattack. And what do we have at home to defend? Vanilla Marines. No Stim. Stim is still in production. The Stalkers have arrived. And we can pick away at these Marines. And shave them off. Ooh. Getting one. Getting a second Marine already. Catching a Mule. Getting the second Mule as well. Very crisp pickups there from our Protoss, from Master. Gets 2 Mules, picks up Marines. Stim is now done. Ooh, Blink is on cooldown. And we do Stim forward, catching a Stalker. We go and we get 2. It's an okay trade, catching 2 Stalkers. Meanwhile, across the map, Liberator has sieged up, catching 4 probes. Inexorable still fighting back, but he's up against the wall. Like, Inexorable, he was very committed earlier and he did not do enough damage, and now he's in a very precarious position. We do need to somehow recover, whether it's with drop play, whether it's with Liberator harass. We need to get some kind of economic damage. And we're moving out with our drop. Are moving out. Inexorable towards top left. We have the Bay on the way. Master getting ready for Colossus. Already on 2 Immortals. Master is holding his own. As we just stim in, oh my god, we have the overcharge yet. Nothing's gonna go down just in time. Pop the overcharge, we retain our Immortal. Cheeky move there out of Inexorable, trying to catch Master off guard, but Master was able to react in time, even getting in position to defend against the drop, in case it does threaten the natural. Likewise, Inexorable going for a 3rd CC. It's going to be a 3 CC setup. The problem here is that, again, we're still down in economy. We still have not quite recovered. Not yet. We're on our road to recovery, but it's a long road to walk. Double eBay on the way. The Observer does spot the main army. Master getting in position. Let's respond. Oh, we do catch the Observer. Yeah, nice moves. Keen eyes there out of Inexorable. Observer goes down. Double jump into the main. We have Stalkers in position. Master, he's on top of everything here. Oh my god. He knows. He's in position and he will. Ooh, barely knock at the medevac. Whew. Very close. Clutch moves there from Inexorable. Does pull away. He's containing his opponents, but Master still has the superior economy. He's on 3 bases. Fully saturated. Even getting a 4th as we speak. And we need that 3rd. So we're now working and building up towards that 3rd base. That to be landed is confirmed by the hallucination. Inexorable going to be reinforcing towards the left-hand side. He's going to be reinforcing with more Marauders, with Widowmines as well. How many Colossus do we have? We're on 2. Oof. We're on 2 Colossus. Master already pre-splitting his army. Okay, so ready for that drop play. That does get eyes on the main army. Scan does miss the majority. There we go. Second scan does confirm. where Master is. We're coming in from the right-hand side. We're going for the fourth. At the same time, we just threaten the natural. And we're going for the Nexus. Can we get it? It's going to be close. It's going to be close. It looks like we barely will get a cancel. Just barely in time. Not bad. We deny the fourth. We contain the Protoss on 3 bases. We're holding our own. This means despite the high probe count of Master, he's not mining efficiently. Not mining efficiently. Inexorable. He's keeping up somewhat. Cutting against the army. Let's cut down those zealots. Pulling back, saturating on 3 bases. Second starport's on the way for additional Vikings. Vikings going to be required here for the initial Colossus. We can see that Master is reinforcing, or he's diversifying his splash damage. We have initially Colossus, yes, that's true, but building up towards what looks to be Archons, potentially Storm. As Inexorable is getting caught out. Ooh, bleeding out the Medivacs here. Both Medivacs go down. It's going to cost us some Stalkers, but we will clean this up. And this is worthwhile for Master. Again, you can't afford these trades. Can't afford them. Behind this, Inexorable just settling in. Settling into his 3-base setup. Ghost Academy's on the way, and yeah, we're just taking a more passive approach. Master double expanding. And what I'm concerned by, especially because of the macro and the bases that Master's taking, I mean, he's about to max out. Master's going to be the first to max out with 4 Colossus. Disruptors now on the way as well. And he's just outscaling Inexorable. Some of these drops have been okay from our Terran player. They've been okay, especially denying the 4th. That was good. But we need more. We still need more out of these drops, and because we haven't gotten them, Inexorable's fallen behind. Oh, isn't just because of lack of drops, it's because of the opener. Remember the aggressive start that did fail? Did set Inexorable behind. We have yet to catch up. Zealots sniping on the drop. Anyway, at least catch the Zealots, not bad. Do catch them. Speaking of Zealots, we drop into the main. Getting a handful of SCVs, nothing too major. 3 workers for all these Zealots. Another worthwhile trade for Master. Inexorable has been catching some Zealots, that's good. Trading out free minerals. But it's still going to come down to the main big fight as Master, he's max. Yeah, 200 supply. What do we have to work with? We have 4 Colossus. 4 Colossus, 2 Disruptors, soon to be 4 Disruptors as well. And we're moving out. Oh boy. Now, we do bring down the first Colossus. The Vikings, they go ham. Oh, getting the second Colossus as well. Nova's lackluster. There's some rough movement there from the terrain. Colossus are falling. We get the 3rd Colossus. Nicely done. And barely any splash damage left. Inexorable is trading well. And the Vikings land. Do we have any more Novas? Without Novas, the Bio Army can stem in. Stepping on forward first, the Nova will connect. And just barely. And with that Master, he holds. And behind this, we have 87 probes. We have the goal base. We have another Nexus on the way. It was all or nothing for Inexorable. He had to win that fight and snowball into a win. And go for the kill, and alas, he barely did not pull through. The Vikings are doing well for themselves. They did well. Unfortunately, it just wasn't enough on the ground. Wasn't enough to keep pushing. And we're collapsing on the 3rd base. Zealots, they do get ahead, and they will be shut down. We have to consolidate our forces, bring everything together. Liberators have arrived. We have plenty of Stalkers. Ooh, Nova does connect. 3 Liberators left. We're going to rotate over towards the left-hand side. We blink in. We blink forward. We focus out 2 of those libs. Ooh. Nova once again connecting. Nova It does connect. Reinforcements on the way. Oof. Get an okay mind connection, but alas, inexorable. He's just trying to hold on desperately. They don't even know! Massive connection. We catch the 4cc. Fly away, Bobby. Fly away. We'll attempt to float away here. As Master is keeping up, and again, he has a booming economy behind this. Diving on the final army here of Inexorable. Nova's going off, even dealing with a friendly fire, but it doesn't matter. GG gets called, and Master will take game number 1. Whew. GG. Master does take a lead in this series, but again, despite how the game looked, a lot of it did come down to the opener. The fact that Inexorable had opened up with a hyper-aggressive build, but he was delayed. If you remember, he was supply blocked, and his CC was denied as well, and did lead into a delayed push, and Master completely shut it down. He shut down the initial double tank push, and Inexorable was behind from then on forward. But, you know, once we get into another game, once we get into a fresh start, if Inexorable can tighten things up early on, we can see a different outcome. Can see that, but the pressure is on Inexorable. GG, well played. Master just kind of flexing his macro, flexing a very comfortable game there after the initial defense. Again, StarCraft can be very unforgiving like that. And to be fair, it wasn't just the initial defense, it was also keeping up with all the drops. There was opportunity. There was opportunity for Inexorable to bounce back with his drop play, to pull apart the army, to get into mineral lines, to catch some high-tech units as well. But Master, for the most part, was looking solid. Very solid. And with that, we're getting ready for game number 2. Game number 2 is going to be taking place on Ghost River. Let's go! Ghost River coming up next. Ghost River followed by Oceanborn, Side Delta, and Airfield. So I'm just writing down the names of the maps. Okay, as well. And you can hear the beeps. We're loading on it. Are loading in. And Ghost River has a lot of potential to be aggressive. This is a much smaller map. We've seen a lot of 1 base all-ins and 2 base all-ins from both sides, from both Protoss and Terran. So I'm expecting something a little bit spicier here, Pappy. But here we go. We're jumping in and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Ghost River. We have our Brazilian Terran player, the Yellow Terran, representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Inexorable. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the Brazilian Protoss player, the Purple Protoss, representing Team Hellfire. It is Master. Here we go. Hello, Mr. SCV. What are we doing? What's going on? Show us what you got. There we go. We have the proxy racks in the center of the map. I mentioned before, Ghost River is it is the smallest map in the map pool and has a very short rush distance. Not as short as Post Youth, but short nonetheless. And may as well make use of it. May as well be hyper aggressive. Master is moving out with the probe scout, but he will miss the proxy. Oh boy. Behind this, additional gases are being taken. I'm curious if this is going to be Proxy Marauder, not Proxy Reaper. I'm curious how committed we're going to be with our initial setup. How committed. Probe Scout will confirm that the initial Rax is missing. Is this just going to be Proxy Reaper, or do we commit a little bit harder? Show us how hard we commit, Pat. As yeah, it's just going to be Reaper. Okay, Reaper is on the way, not going for the Proxy Marauder. And the probe does confirm that the Rax is missing. Could be anywhere. Could be in the natural. Could be at the third. And you can see that we're checking here this southern location. Not uncommon to proxy towards the center of the map. SCV's on the way. So this should just be Proxy Reaper into a standard game. This SCV has potential for a bunker behind the mineral line to disrupt some of the mining. As the SCV does wait for the Reaper, but doesn't commit in for a bunker. And we are... Wait. Wait, hold on. It's gonna be Proxy Reaper into a delayed tech lab. Okay, that I was not expecting. Okay. Inexorable, he's cooking. Let's go. We're following it up with Proxy Marauder. Back at home, is this going to be Hellion or Cyclone? It's going to be Cyclone. One base all in. One base all in here out of Inexorable. Let's go, Papi. Going for the Proxy Starport as well. Proxy almost everything. I love it. So this Reaper makes it look like a standard game. It makes it look like just a Proxy Reaper into a standard follow-up here, like I assumed it would be, and I'm sure Master assumes that as well. And Master is in for a rude awakening as he's moving out across the map, trying to get a read what's going on. Remember, the factory is also back at home, so everything looks normal. Everything looks as it should. Starport about to finish, and we should be going for Medivacs. Medivacs here to juggle, to micro, to maintain, and not just the Marauders, but also the Cyclones as well, as there's a lot of micro potential early on. Cyclones are on the way. There's that first Medivac. Behind this Master going for a Twilight Council, going for a second gateway, a 2-gate setup. And he's a scout! There we go. Massive moment here. Master does confirm. And we need shield batteries. There we go. 2 shield batteries immediately on the way. We already have 1. Boys are being pre-pulled. A very tense moment here. Likewise, boys being pulled for Inexorable. It's all or nothing for the Terran. And things are looking good. From the side of the Terran player, we do kite back. Well, first Cyclone gets started down. The repairs are too late. Cyclone does fall. Where's the Medivac? Medivac arrives too late as well. Unable to juggle, unable to keep the Cyclone alive. A rough start for Inexorable. Shield batteries are done, and we still have the overcharge. We're still holding on. There it is. Overcharge is popped. Stalker's barely getting within range. Oh, just barely does go down. The first Stalker, the second Stalker. The Marauders, they do too much DPS, too much damage. 1 Stalker remaining, but we have a Warp in. And with the help of the Warp in, we're holding. We're barely holding on. Oh, they're juggling. We saved the Marauder. But the Stalkers are barely holding on. Shield batteries are out of energy. We don't have an overcharge on anymore. More boys being pulled. It's not over. The all-in has not ended yet. You can see Inexorable. He backs off just to consolidate his army. He's got a tank on the way. We pull all the boys. Let's go. This time, all the boys being pulled. It's all or nothing for Inexorable. The game will end one way or another. Meanwhile, Master going for extra warp-ins. Up to how many Stalkers? 6 Stalkers. Go for the lib. Shield batteries will help, but there's not enough boys, not enough probes. Liberator's going to be focused out, but the Marauders, they go ham. We have another overcharge, barely keeping these Stalkers alive. But it may not be enough. As the probes are falling one after the other, the Marauders are getting on top of the Stalkers. They're down to, still 4 Stalkers. We're holding. The overcharge pops up. We're down to 2 Marauders, down to 1. GG, the Protoss holds, and Master takes a 2-0 lead. Oh my god, that overcharge was the MVP. GG, well played. Very clutch hold there. Again, I was almost certain that the Marauders would be able to break through and overwhelm the overcharge and now DPS the power of the overcharge as well, but alas, they could not do it. They could not pull it off. Master, he barely held on with that second overcharge by the skin of his teeth, and Master holds. Master is 1 game away from becoming our champion. 1 game. And I'm a little bit in shock, a little bit in awe, just because I expected more of a back and forth. But what I will say is that so far in this series, Inexorable has been hyper aggressive. As a reminder, in game 1, Inexorable set up with a very... Oh, sorry, don't want to get left behind. If you remember in game 1, Inexorable, he set up for a very early double tank push. Very early double tank push, which was delayed and which was slowed down and fell in its face. Here in game 2, 1 base all in. 1 base all in, pull the boys, right? So both games so far, Inexorable has just been very in the face of Master. Very, very all in. Both games, hyper aggressive. Do we see that again in game 3? Right? Do we just commit to this aggressive nature, or do we fall back on more macro play? That's the question. Game 3 is going to be on Oceanborn. Oceanborn is an interesting map. It can lead towards some longer games, true, but also the rush distance isn't as long as, you know, Alcyone or Side Delta, for example. So you can be more assertive. We have options. We can definitely be very flexible on a map like Oceanborn. So I'm curious. I'm curious where this takes us. Curious where this goes. as for now, we are going to be settling in. Looks like Master has asked for a couple of minutes, so we're more than happy to oblige. Master does need a moment, and I don't blame him after these past 2 games. He needs to breathe, Pop. He needs to breathe. He needs to calm down. Surviving the aggression of Inexorable. But I would hope that in this game 3 that we see something less aggressive from the Terran player. I'm hoping that we see something a little bit more, you know, macro-oriented, or at least mid-game oriented from Inexorable to get a little bit more out of this. I do think that he has some really good mid-game play. And we just haven't been able to see that yet today. We haven't seen that, at least in TVP. We haven't really been able to embrace that. So we'll see how Inexorable will approach this. If he tries to calm things down, or if he just doubles down on the aggression instead. It's on Inexorable. It's on our Terran player here to dictate the pace. At least that's how it feels so far this series. So far. Here we go. And it looks like Mastery's back. He's back with jumping back in. Again, after Code for Giants Cup, I'm probably gonna work for a little bit and work on some VODs, but I'm looking forward to Bedge. As a reminder, we have a Kung Fu Cup in 10 hours, I want to say. Yeah, in 10 hours time, sorry, 8 hours. Yeah, 10 hours, yeah. Sorry, math. 9.5 hours time. There we go. Cut it down, right down the middle. We do have Kung Fu Cup. Kung Fu Cup is on the horizon. So I'm going to try and get some rest before our next cast. I'll do my best to get some rest and get some food. Until then, though, we're focusing on the grand finals of Code for Masters. Oh, sorry, Code for Giants Cup number 7, and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have our Brazilian Terran player, the Yellow Terran, representing the Platinum Heroes down in this series. Can we bounce back? Can we make a series out of this? It is Inexorable. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the Brazilian Protoss player, the Purple Protoss, representing Team Hellfire. It is Master. We go. Again, Mastery has been able to survive the aggression of Inexorable so far, and the question becomes, what does Inexorable have for us this time? For the time being, 1 gas. Single gas opener out of Inexorable, so for the first time this series, we're going for a Rax Expand economic opener out of our Terran player. He's crazy. He's not rushing into the factory, he's rushing into a CC. And Master will confirm. He will confirm that, okay, it looks like that you've calmed down. You've gotten it out of your system. Calm down, Papi. And Inexorable is going to be going for a more economic opener. Master confirms that. Master knows he himself is going to be safe to just go for the gate. Cyber expand. Send that opener out of Master, and Master's going to be feeling pretty good about this. He can cut corners. Master now has the option to go for a 2-gate opener into a 3rd. He could just avoid the 3rd gateway and go for a more greedy build instead. Keep an eye on Master. Behind this factory-based follow-up from Inexorable is going for the factory. Now, this can still lead to aggression. I was just thinking that if Inexorable goes for an economic start, if he baits out something greedy out of Master, then we can try to punish that greed with something like a 3 Rax. Not going to be 3 Rax here. We could even go for a 2nd Rax after the factory before the starport, and that can lead into a 2-1-1 or even a 3-1-1 kind of 2-base all-in. So we still have aggressive potential depending on the build order of choice. So we'll see what the next production building is going to be. It looks like it's going to be the starports. Meanwhile, a big shout to Balmioja in the chat. Gah, Papi, God, thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great ladder session. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, as it is going to be the starport. Welcome, everyone, to the grand finals of Code for Giants Cup. If you maybe are unfamiliar with this event, this is a Brazilian-only tournament. So if you want some Brazilian-on-Brazilian action, We got you covered with this tournament, with this best of 5. We are near the tail end of the broadcast. We have a 2-0 lead for Master, but for a bit of context as to this series, Inexorable has been hyper-aggressive. Inexorable has been going for all-ins and very committed builds. Last game was a 1-base all-in from Inexorable, and even the game before that, it was very committed play as well. Very committed. And Master has been defending. Master, he's been doing his best Showtime impression. He's been holding, surviving, defending against the chaotic nature of Inexorable. And now we're calming down. Now we're calming things down into a longer game. It's going to be a Rax Expand into a 1-1-1. Likewise, Master does confirm back at home. What do we have? We do have a 3-gate setup, so very... Oh, never mind! Master's going to be the aggressor this time. That is going to be a 4-gate blink setup from Master. Now the defender turns into the offender. Defender? Time to be aggressive, Flappy. What it's going to be 4-gate blink. We can move out across the map. We can apply pressure. We can even threaten the main base. And now I have to worry. I have to be concerned for Inexorable. Oh boy. Also, I should do the shout out. Slash shout outs at Spomiocha. Gracias, Papi. Beautiful. Here we go. Inexorable is going to be moving out through the center with our initial Marine Cyclone. Oh, I did miss this, but a second Cyclone has arrived. So Inexorable is going to be active first. He's going to be moving out across the map. But again, Master has extra weapons available with his 4-gate blink. And is going to be able to meet the army of Inexorable. And how will these trades go? Oh, and Master moves out as Inexorable moves in. The armies, they do pass by each other. And Master, he's out of position. We're diving into the natural base. Oh! Blink is done though. We do manage to get away. No shield battery. No shield battery, no overcharge. We're diving into the natural. Going for the Stalkers. Master coming in from behind. Does focus on the Cyclone. Now just vanilla Marines. Does focus on a Stalker, but we do defend. No! Oh my god, we defend and we catch the medevac. 4 medevac does go down. Aye, aye, aye. And Master, he has momentum on his side. He shuts down the aggression, moving out for a massive counterattack, and Inexorable, he's in trouble. Back at him, what do we have? We have a bunker on the low ground. We have 1 tank on the high ground. We have the bare minimum to hold. Second bunker's on the way. But Master, he's not stopping. He's not slowing down. He can dive into the main base. He can even focus on the tank itself. And the Prism has arrived. We're going to be expanding first, taking the 3rd base, linking into the main. And we go for the tank. Yeah, we dive on the tank. We pull the boys to repair. Is it enough? Looks like it is. I was waiting for an extra warp in. Master, he skips the warp in. Not enough Stalkers. There we go. Now we go for an extra warp in into the main. Inexorable does confirm. We get behind the mineral line. Tank is within range, and we're holding. Inexorable is holding again. If Master had gone for 1 extra warp in first, he would have had enough to overpower those SCVs and kill the first tank. Alas, Master didn't quite go for it, and that means Inexorable, we're still in this. We are still in this. Stalkers behind the mineral line. Oh, will threaten those SCVs. Likewise, rotate over towards the south. Tank is sieging up. Tank is in position. Oh, and Master bleeding out quite a bit here. Losing a Stalker. So Master, he missed his window. He missed his window. He missed his opportunity. Inexorable holds, and now we have a back and forth. 3rd TC's on the way. Additional Rax's stim is almost done. Combat shields in production as well. Back at home, Master not going for splash damage. Not going for Immortals or not going for Colossus. Is what I meant to say. Not going for Colossus, Sandom Lance, no pay. Instead, we're embracing a Swarm Toss composition. Only the 1 gas at the natural, going for charge lots. So a mass gateway army here for Master. Blink Stalkers and charge lots. We do have some safety models on the way. There we go. Now we go for the delayed Robotics Bay. It's going to be delayed. No Colossus yet. And Inexorable does break out. Going for the Prism. Up. Stim is still not done though. Stim not complete. Prism does somehow barely survive. Stalkers do rotate. Stim is now done. But alas, despite that, oh! Try to bait out the army. Nice control here at a Master. Does get away. Leading out 1 more Stalker. And another. And then, oh my god! Some brutal losses. Nice catch there from Inexorable. Doesn't catch the Warp Prism, but takes down the Stalkers nonetheless. As Master does get away. Third CC being taken. Likewise, Master taking his own fourth. We are headed towards the mid-game. Are headed in. Are headed towards the mid-game here. I say that Inexorable has been building up towards 5 tanks. Moving out across the map, and his goal here is to deny the expansion, maybe even push into the third. Once again, Master out of position. Oh, I say that, but we actually are quite set up for a flank. First round. Charge is done. Army is spotted. And we're trying to dive on the tanks. A little bit premature there at a Master, but we will dive in. And the tanks are exposed, and all 5 tanks are going to be going down. Oh, a brutal fight for Inexorable. Losing every single tank. And he wasn't ready for that flank, and Mastery completely shuts this down. There was potential. There was potential with that push. But against Mass Charge Lots, we speak about this all the time, but against this kind of army composition, Mastery wants to fight out on the map. He wants to fight out in the open, as we just saw. And Inexorable, he gave Master what he wanted, and now we're going straight for the counterattack, straight for the third CC. As Elsa get into the mineral line, Liberators have arrived. We have freedom. We're holding. We do hold the line. Prism coming in to reinforce. Master, he can warp in, he can keep pushing. I'm just going for a drop. Going for a Zealot drop, establishing a 4th base. Master doesn't want to overextend. Doesn't want to throw away any lead. Checks the main army. Zealots do step into the main. 3 Zealots will unload, but the Prism goes down. Yeah, rough control there from Master. Prism does fall at the same time. We try to dive in. Stalker goes down. And Inexorable does defend quite nicely. Shuts down the Prism, shuts down the Zealots. Deflects the main army. And Master, his probe count is not looking ideal. We're still building up. Getting up to 4 bases. Colossus production has begun. Second robo we could do with extra gases. Still on a 3-gas setup. But working towards double Colossus or double robo production for Colossus disruptors. Forge on the way for upgrades. And the game will continue. Whew. Oh boy. The game will continue. As Master takes another base, getting a 5th. Is taking a 5th base. Meanwhile, Inexorable is now incorporating those ghosts as EMPs. Ooh, as he moves out, Master does confirm the move out. We see him moving in with his Zealots. Prism towards the main, Zealots towards the third. And Zealots say, we'll get into the mineral line. Yeah, SCVs are going down, forcing friendly fire. Oh my god. Yeah, the whole position micro. Big tank volleys going up. At the same time, War Prism does not go into the main. Likewise, main armies, they stand off against each other. Army supplies are comparable. And Inexorable can still take a fight. Can it take a fight here? Master catching a lib. The force fields are brutal. We catch a good chunk of Marines. Marines are shaved off. Skirting around the edge of those freedom zones, trying to find some free swipes. Doesn't quite find them. Going for a Zealot counterattack or even just around. Diving in. Trying to catch the army on siege. Likewise, reinforcements on the way, but they're about to run into the Zealots. Yeah, nice catch here by Master. Shaving off Marines, shaving off Marauders. And we're chasing this all the way back to the bunker, to the third base. Nice positioning, though. Very nice positioning here by Inexorable. At the same time, we overextended into lib range. Oh my god! Yeah, Master throwing away so much. We catch out the army. We can keep going. Send it, Papi, send it. Inexorable pulling back. Does have a massive supply lead. He's consolidating his forces, rotating over towards the center of the map. Inexorable still pushing in. He's maxed out. And finally, Inexorable reaching his final form. Bio Ghost Lib. The freedom is here. And Master, he cannot engage. Not into this. He has to though. He's pushing in, but he's going to lose everything. The Zelts, they melt. Liberators go ham. We collapse on the main army. And we focus down the Immortals, the Colossus, everything else. GG gets called, and Inexorably fights back. He puts a point on the board. Whew. GG. Oh my god. GG, well played. That was almost a 3-0. I'll be honest, things were looking a little bit bleak when Inexorable moved out, and when he lost his Cyclone and a full medevac full of Marines, things were looking dire. As we mentioned at the time, Master did not reinforce his Blink Stalkers, he did not warp in, so when he got into the main base, he did not have enough to break the tank. Inexorable held, and Inexorable, he bounced back from that. Very impressive stuff there by our Brazilian Terran. And what does that mean? That means we have a series, we have a back and forth. Let's go. Inexorable now has momentum on his side. And with that momentum, can we go all the way to the ace match? Regardless of how this goes, I would love to see a game 5. For now, we're getting ready for game 4. It's going to be on Site Delta. Here we go. Site Delta going to be coming up next. Hey, Inexorable showing us that, hey, get him into the mid game, and he can go toe-to-toe with Master. You don't have to go all in. You don't have to be hyper-aggressive. Have faith, Papi. Have faith. Believe in yourself. Don't be tempted by cheesing. We'll see. We'll see. So we have seen some players embrace proxies on a Site Delta in the past. I've done it before. We'll see if we do it again. So we're loading in to game 4. Personally, I'm just satisfied that we have, a back and forth. It's not going to be one-sided. Not going to be a one-sided score. Here we go. We're loading in to that game number 4. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Site Delta, we have the Brazilian Terran player, the Yellow Terran, representing the Platinum Heroes, fighting back and putting a point on the board. Can he tie up the series? It is Inexorable. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Brazilian Protoss player, the Purple Protoss, representing Team Hellfire. It is Master. Let's go. Aha. Papi, let's go. I want us to go the distance here. For now, we do see Inexorable calming things down a little bit. Again, we're loading into Site Delta. Site Delta, a bit of a more defensive map. We have a ramp coming into the natural. We have a brutal choke point coming into the main. 1 hex ramp. So I expect to see, once again, an economic opener. As we can see here, 1 Rax into expand. Single gas opener here from Inexorable. Just like the previous game, something more economic. I appreciate it. Do appreciate it here from our Terran player. Meanwhile, Master will confirm, comes in with a probe scout, does get eyes on the second gas, confirms that it has not been taken. Now is where he can calm things down. Now, it was, as we mentioned before, just because this initial opener looks like it's macro based, I mean, it is economic, but we can still follow this up with aggression. We could go into a 3 Rax follow up, we could go into a 3 Rax 1-1, into a delayed starport, into a 2 base all in. I wouldn't really be fond of 2 base all-ins on this map. The reasoning for this is because of how defendable the natural is. Likewise, we've seen a lot of 3 axes fall in their face on this map as well. I mean, it's a bit of a give and take. I think a big reason why we see a lot of 3 axes on Site Delta, especially from the Korean Terrans, is because it's unexpected, and ideally we're hoping that it's a Stargate opener from the Protoss and we're trying to catch them off guard. But we've seen it fail more often than not, so I'm hoping we see something more standard. We calm things down, Pat. Calm things down. As for now, Inexorable, he checks for a proxy at the linear third, checks the triangular third as well. Make sure that he's ready, going 3cc. Okay, let's go. It looks like a 3cc 3 Rax out of Inexorable. This is a build that's been quite popular this year, has been sprinkled in throughout a lot of the Terran players out there, Korean Terran and otherwise. Back at home, Master going for a Twilight Council opener. It's going to be Blink. Twilight counts with the blink. And now I'm assuming we're going to be seeing, yep, there we go. There's a second Rax and a third Rax thereafter. Again, I say really trendy this year, really trendy these past, I would say maybe 3 months. Like 3 months, like post DreamHack Dallas sort of thing. Around DreamHack Dallas era, posted as well. We have seen a lot of 3cc3 Rax, and that is what we are now embracing. The Adept doesn't quite confirm. Now, what I will say is that if Master does open up 4-gate Blink, then I'm going to be concerned for Inexorable. I'm going to be concerned for him. Just because we have seen Terran players punished going this build up against a more aggressive Protoss. But we'll see. We shall see. Oh my god, as it's not Blink! It's gonna be a Dark Shrine. Okay, bold move here by the Protoss. Going for a Dark Shrine opener. There is potential. The problem, though, is this. The CC is turning into an orbital. We're gonna have triple the SCVs, more importantly, triple the scans. 3 orbitals gathering energy, we're gonna have that many more scans available. As long as we don't mule too hard, we should be okay. A big should on that. Just because if we do happen to mule a little bit too much, and if we have nothing left, then DTs can wreak havoc. So, very risky move at a Master, and it could go either way. We could go to town, or we could just be shut down very hard. We'll see, as we're getting into our sim timing. Factory's on the way. Factories on the way for the follow-up starport. We do have our medevac moving out. Dark Shrine is done, and we will soon morph in those DTs. Depth shading into the natural. Gets eyes on the would-be eBay. Do we have energy backing up? Not quite. We've been quick to mule. Here comes the first wave of Dark Templar. We're about to have energy in the main. The natural base still lacking energy. And we do have a scan available. Oh, no, we just scanned. We just scanned across the map. We have 1 scan left on that 3rd CC. And we have the scan in the natural. No more scans. First DT goes down, but the second DT will get damage done. Oh, we cannot follow this into the scan range, though. Going for Stim. 5 seconds away. That's going to finish. Stim, it looks like it will finish up in time. Stim will complete. What about combat shields? As DTs, they are wreaking havoc here again. Still no scans. Soon going to be available in a couple of seconds. We deny combat shields. We have a scan. Would you have it? Up. Oh, he's trying to catch both. Trying to catch both DTs. It looks like he will catch the Prism. Prism goes down. And we have the scan. But we still get 10 worker kills. We get 10 SCVs, 2 tech labs. We deny combat shields. Was that worth it? Was it worth 3 DTs and a War Prism? Hard to say. It was okay damage. Losing the Prism is brutal, though. Losing the Prism is brutal. As Master is expanding, building up, and working towards a Blink-based follow-up. Moving out with Stalkers. Remember, no tanks. Because of the opener, there are no tanks. Oh, we have a bunker there. We have a bunker. We have repairs. We hold. Inexorable is holding. Scanning across the map, gets eyes on the 3rd base fully saturated. Alas, 3rd CC yet to be taken for Inexorable, but he is going to be able to maintain his worker count and should be landed soon on location. Should be heading over. Should be heading over here. As Inexorable is going for a double drop, but there's an observer in position. And I believe... Oh my god! Barely does catch wind of the medevacs. There we go. Master, he knows. Yeah, he does respond, getting in position. Yeah, the hero observer. Master going for the intercept. And I am concerned here for Inexorable as he doesn't know. He doesn't know that Master knows. He knows, Papi. We're coming in. The Stalkers, they arrive just in time, and we are here primed to punish these medevacs. We get 1. And can we get 2? We can. Oh my god. 2 full medevacs go down. Brutal pickoff. The observer. It was insane, Papi. And with that Inexorable, he plummets in supply. He is taking a 3rd. That is true, but he's vulnerable. He is vulnerable right now. Mastery doesn't care. He takes a 4th base, building up towards Colossus. Second Colossus on the way. But Inexorable, he's stuck at home. He's going to be stuck at home. Stalkers do confirm. Stalker does confirm the 3rd base. I mean, Inexorable, sorry, Mastery sold earlier. He's aware. He's just building up his army. No reason to take things too fast. I mean, Master just has to calm things down, settle into his 4 bases, and build up a death ball of an army. Really, the pressure's on Inexorable. After that loss, the pressure is on the Terran. Let's see what he can get done. Now, Archons are on the way. Army spreading out. Inexorable does get eyes on this. Behind this, still no factory-based play. No tanks. So we do have some Widowmines. Okay, we do have some Widowmines behind this. But Master is pushing. Oh boy, no bunkers! Yeah, no bunkers in position. We're not quite set up for this. Do you go for the scan? Do spot the army, but can we stop it? Yeah, mine's just going to be going off some decent mine connections on the Zealots. The Zealots go down, but Inexorable has to give up on the 3rd. Zealots they catch reinforcements. We collapse on the 3rd base. CC will escape, but we bring down so many depots, 7 SCVs. And we're pushing down into the main army, and again, Inexorable, he's just not ready for this. Not this time. A massive wave of reinforcements on the way. Say that 5 Zealots warp in. And that's massive enough. And GG gets called. Well played as well, and Master will snowball out of control, taking the series 3-1, becoming this week's Code for Giants Cup champion. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here to Master for taking the series. Did look strong here, but a shout out to Inexorable because, hey, we made a series out of it. Inexorable, he did take a game. We did have a back and forth. What I will say, to reiterate, is that Inexorable did dictate the base of the game in game 1 and 2. If you remember, Inexorable, he went for a 1 base all-in, which is crazy, and very committed to building game 1 as well. Inexorable was hyper aggressive, and Master did defend, did deflect, and did survive the aggression of Inexorable. That's how Master took a massive lead. Then we had a bit of a calmer setup in game number 3, and we were able to see Inexorable thrive. We were able to see Inexorable really get into his own. But last, just only in game 3, as Master was able to take the reins in this final game. GG, well played. Whew. With that, congratulations to Master. Condolences to Inexorable, but hey, 2nd place isn't too shabby. Not too bad whatsoever. Not too shabby whatsoever to get 2nd place. Congratulations, and I look forward to seeing more of these two in the coming weeks. For those who are maybe unaware, Code for Giants Cup is a regular bi-weekly event. Every fortnight, every 2 weeks, we have this event to feature players like Master, Inexorable, Yan, Kamikaze, Eric. Eric wasn't here this week, but Eric, he is our reigning champion. Not here to reprise his role, unfortunately, as Eric is, of course, the best player in all of Brazil. Arguably compared to Kelazar. I mean, you could argue between Diego and Eric, sure. But Eric's still an amazing player, and yeah, well, I'm sure we'll see him next time. I'm sure. As for now, we're going to be rounding things out and wrapping up. As this was merely our first broadcast of the day. This is our first broadcast. We just wrapped up with Code for Giants Cup. If you're interested in some more StarCraft, if you want some more content, then we have you covered in a couple of hours. I say a couple of hours. Let me just quickly double check the calendar. But in how many hours time? 9 hours. In 9 hours time, we're going to be live here with Kung Fu Cup. With Kung Fu Cup, a massive weekly tournament which features players, the best players in Korea and the best players in Europe as well. They all duke it out in Kung Fu Cup. Quickly checking the signups here. We do have players like Spirit, Classic, Mana, Max Pax, Gumiho, Trap, Nightmare, and more. So the best of the best facing off there in Kung Fu Cup. Look forward to it. It's in 9 hours time. I'm most likely gonna try to get a bit of work done before going to sleep. Like, I'm a little bit sleep deprived, not gonna lie. But I'm gonna try and sleep as much as I can. for those that are curious, in 9 hours, it isn't just Kung Fu Cup. Right after Kung Fu Cup, we're going to be casting OC King of the Hill. So 3 casts today, 3 broadcasts. At least there's like a 9-hour break in between this one and the next one. But 3 casts today. Let's go. It's gonna be a long day. It's gonna be a long day. I'm a little bit concerned just because Kung Fu Cup is usually really long. Like usually Kung Fu Cup, it's around like 4 to 5 hours. Like it's pretty intense tournament. It's a big bracket and a lot of matches. So I'm feeling confident about that. I'm concerned about the energy I'm gonna have coming into OC King of the Hill. That's where my concerns lie. But you know, I'll brew some coffee. You know, I'll go full Legion, and I'm sure we'll be okay. We'll be okay. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. I just need to sleep as much as I can. So, thank you for watching, everyone. Thank you for the support. Hope you all enjoyed yourselves. Hope you all enjoyed the StarCraft, and tune in 2 weeks for some more Brazilian StarCraft, some more Code for Giants Cup. It's amazing. It's a fun tournament. I know that a lot of people, usually they're like, oh, you know, we just want to watch, you know, your Marus and your Serals. Like, nah, papi. We can satisfy you with your Masters and your Inexorables as well, you know. we can satisfy you, papi. I'm sure we can. Regardless, yeah, we're going to be heading off for the time being. Stick around. We're going to be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid. Likewise, oh, of course, payouts as well. And yeah, if you do wish to support the CranKy Ducklings, you can follow us here on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Discord. We have all the social medias, all things CranKy Ducklings. If you want to help support us, you can do so. You can also support us via Patreon as well. You can see here just under Inexorable's name, you can see our ! Patreon goal. You can see our current goal and how much we currently do get from patrons. So massive shout out to all of our patrons. You can see the scrolling list of patrons whenever we're on a break, whenever we're on the end screen. So many patrons. Thank you so much for the support. Of course, the Patreon is to fund our tournaments. It's to fund our weekly tournaments like Sparkling Tuna Cup, like Sea Duckling Open, and Masters Swan Open as well. We have events for Diamond players, Masters players, and events open to all players and all regions as well. So we're doing our part. We are doing our part for the community, by the community. So if you're interested, you can support us on Patreon. Otherwise, thank you for watching. A follow is all that we ask. A follow here on Twitch, a follow on YouTube, a follow on the socials and the Discords. That's all we ask. Thank you so much. We'll see you guys in 9 hours for some Kung Fu Cup action. Otherwise, we'll see you when we see you. we'll see you for our next cast. We're always live. We'll see you eventually. It's fine. It's fine. Until then, hasta luego. Hasta luego, papi. Ciao. Gaha. Fala galera. Shout out to Master for our champion this week. And we'll see you guys in the next broadcast. Until then, ciao. Ciao, papi. Ciao.